All right, and we are officially live in the flesh. How is everybody doing? We made it. We made it. I was running around today. I was doing a million different things. Just got home, literally like maybe 20 minutes ago, and now we're here. And today's topic, for today, this lovely Sunday night for me, is I want to talk about taxes. I want to talk about taxes because I have a lot of taxes that are going to be due very soon, in just a couple of months. I mean, especially for those of you who are paying quarterly taxes. I mean, you're basically all year round. I did not pay quarterly this year. I should have, or else I was going to be facing a penalty. But it's lead me to realize, like, I'm guessing I'm going to have a tax bill of around, I'm guessing around $5,000, something like that. That kind of range, and it's probably going to be the highest bill I've ever paid thus far in my life, and it's having me wondering, like, what would be the best card to put all those taxes on? And I have some ideas, right? I have some ideas, and for those of you who are unfamiliar with this concept, essentially, like, anybody who's typically self-employed, or if you maybe you have investment accounts and you sell some stock, you have gains in some way that is taxable. At the end of the year, you don't get some money back like we're used to, right? Anybody's working W-2, we're also used to just, paying our little dues at the end of each paycheck. And then at the end of the year, we get a refund. Well, I haven't had a refund in many years. I've been self-employed for the last 2 or 3 years now. So every year I'm usually owing something. And so the best way to kind of mitigate a tax bill is to put it on credit cards. For you guys who are watching the VOD right now, I mean, there's a lot of different ways, in the live stream, obviously, a lot of different ways to be able to pay your taxes in different ways. Like, for example, I always like to mention some of the easiest ways, literally just type in pay taxes online. This is kind of how I do it. You go on the irs.gov website, it allows you to, I'll click this one because you can pay with debit card, credit card, or digital wallets, which is very interesting for those of you guys who have like the US Bar or the Kroger MasterCard. You guys can get 3 to 5% back, or X back on your tax payments. Of course, there's going to be some sort of a fee in some cases. Like, for example, if you're paying with a credit card, like I would be, you're gonna have to pay that 1.75%. But to me, if I'm able to like get something like a chasing preferred, where maybe my tax payment is, close to $8,000, something like that, I could just foot the bill of the entire tax bill. Of course, if I have enough credit limit for it, and I can get a cool, 90,000, or even in some cases you can get up to 120,000 on an Inc. preferred, and that's basically discounting your taxes by, I mean, at least the cash out amount, right? So 90,000 would be $900 cash, 120K is $1,200 cash. So it's like you had to pay 8,000 in taxes, but at least you can get a bit of a return, at least on that spend. So, I guess in that case you would be getting, a decent return. What would that be? So if you're paying 8K, 10% back would be, so at least 15 percent back on all of your spend. And it just leads me to think, like, what would be the best option to pay your taxes on? And for DL, it's going on DL. It says, how much is the tax payment? I don't know yet. I actually probably should know, but I believe, based on just projections and what my write-offs are going to be, I think it's going to be around like 5K. Then again, whatever I assume, it's probably going to be 50% higher. So it's probably like 6, 7, something like that. I'm not necessarily sure. I'm guessing it's going to be around 5 though. And so, like, when I'm in that 5K range, I'm like, okay, I can easily get an Ink Preferred, or at least maybe not me because I have so many Ink cards right now. But an Ink Preferred would be cool. Any of these Ink cards would be very nice. If you can just get like, Ink Unlimited, spend 6K. That's my entire tax bill. Get 75,000 points on there. Chase points, chasing cash, same exact thing. Even in some cases, I know there's a Amex Business Gold offer right now that I'm like, can I do it? Can I make it work? Where it's where is it? You have to spend $15,000 in just 3 months, but you can get 200,000 membership reward points. And I didn't really mention it, but I made some redemptions this year that basically have lowered my Amex points down to like 60K. So I'm like, I kind of want to replenish that. I'm like, this is a good option for me. In the past, I've actually taken retention offers. In the past, when I had my platinum card, and the last time I owed a tax bill of this size, um, around $5,000. I actually got a retention offer on my platinum card maybe 2 years ago. I think I did a video on it, where it was something similar to this. It was like spend 4K or 5K. Get I think they offered me 40,000 points, something like that. So like for those of you guys who are watching, like anybody who has a tax bill of some amount, definitely put it on a credit card. And if you have like some of these cards that offer somewhat plentiful retention offers, definitely make use of that. If I had my platinum card today, I might ask for a retention offer and see if I could do better. But again, if I can somehow make this 15K work, which I don't think I can, I would love to find a business gold that's like 10K spend. I've seen that, but I haven't seen it in a while. I think that would be just way better. But retention offers are a great way, if you have some taxes coming up to get some more value. I'm also thinking of my mind before I say what's up to everybody. The Hawaiian Airlines business card. Some of you guys know I applied for both the personal and the business version of the Hawaiian Airlines cards. Maybe a little over a month ago. I think it was late November. And so I got the personal one, no problem. And I was technically conditionally approved for the Hawaiian Airlines business card, 50K miles. I believe it was only or it was $4,000 worth of spend in 90 days. And I was conditionally approved. The condition was I had to send in my documents like social. They want everything. They want your birth certificate. They say even send your wife in there and maybe they'll get approved. Yeah, it's horrible what they do to us, Barclays. But essentially, you have to send in some of your, social details, what have you, to verify your identity through the mail. There's no online portal. There's nothing like that. You literally have to send it to their office in Delaware, or it's like a PO box in Delaware. And then, if everything's verified, cool, then they approve you. So that's why it's conditionally approved. And I just haven't done it. Like, I just don't want to send anything in the mail. I procrastinate on certain things, and I'm like, is it worth it? I don't know. Is it really worth it? But technically, if I want to do that, they said I have 90 days from the time that I was conditionally approved, which is like November 29th, I think, to send it in to be approved again. I think if I do wait after the 30 days, which it's already past 30 days, I would have to do a hard pull again, but I'm not too worried about it. But it's another option. If I have that tax bill, why not? That might be interesting. We'll see. I think they were going to approve me with a 3K limit or a 4K limit, so it would have worked out anyway. But that's just my spiel right off the bat. Let me see what you guys are saying. And if you guys have like questions or things or topics, let's go into it. Let's go ham today. Let's have some fun. Let me just say what's up to everybody. Woodsy was popping. He says, "Yo, Mike Newland, the man, the myth, the legend. Appreciate you." Davo is here. You from up north, Davo? That's like a New York thing. The Ink Train Hotline. Yeah, we could talk about Chase Recon if you guys want. I was gonna save it for next week. I probably still will because I'm gonna talk to them more. But we can talk about my freaking annoying time calling Chase Recon, trying to get this denial overturned. It's been a pain. Rimji says the U.S. bank smartly 4%. Unless you are writing on a sub, end of discussion. Yes. So basically for a welcome offer, yeah, it would be a welcome offer for sure to pay your taxes on. Otherwise, I think that's a great idea. I mean, so basically what G is saying here is, if you have a card like the U.S. Smartly and you happen to have $100,000 in balances between some of their qualifying accounts, you can get 4% back on every single purchase, essentially a 4% catch-all card with their system. Actually going through with that and some of those things we can talk into it, but at least on face value, easy 4% on everything if you're not worried about welcome offers, and the tax payment online through the IRS website is 1.75, which I actually think they lowered this. Now that I think about it, I feel like last time it was, I mean, it's going to sound really stupid, but I believe it was like 1.76 or 1.79. Maybe I'm wrong because I remember it being an odd number. Like 7.5 makes sense, but I thought I remember it being different. But that's a good idea. It's a good idea to pay 4%. You're still netting 225. For your tax payments for sure. So that's interesting, and we can go into that card more because I think it's interesting debate on a 4% catch-all versus 100K assets in. Well, I'll just say I've heard data points. A lot of people in the Discord it's like a really hard to transfer your assets there if you're not already with US Bank, and the accounting system behind the scenes and the paper trail is just like non-existent. Like for those of you who've ever transferred assets from brokerages, like going from like in the past Robinhood to Fidelity was super easy. Everything was like it was perfect. It was online. every step of the way, you got an email just giving you an update where your money was held, and then it goes through. So yeah, we can talk about it. Chad says, "Yo, it's Papa Chad by minutes." Killian said, "Oh, what's up, Killian?" He says, "Hey everyone, what's going on?" DL, 5K. I don't know yet, but I'm assuming it's around 5K. Dedix Pride, debating to get the Ink Preferred, but wanted the 120K offer, not 90K. Looking at the Hyatt business, the new offer is spend 15K, get one free night, and 60,000. Uh, it's like I'm just like it just depends who you are, right? Like if I'm reacting in this way because I know what's possible, having now gone through it this year, and I'm like for 15K, that's like two and a half Ink Unlimited cards. I'm like 15K, you can get a Ink Unlimited, two Ink Unlimiteds, and half of it in cash, and you would net yourself 225,000 points, something like that. So I mean, I get it. I just think 225,000 is way more valuable than one Hyatt free night certificate plus 60K. But that's just me. That's just me. Deal says, "Are you self-employed as a realtor or as a content creator?" Both. Both, man. Both. And that's like, that's part of it. That's part of it, right? Because like on YouTube, luckily we were able to do fairly well this year. I was actually kind of like surprised at the numbers by the end of the year, what we were able to hit. And then that's also in conjunction with the realtor stuff, and part of it is funny, at least what I was, I mentioned publicly, like a video is, and some of you may not have seen the video, but essentially I bought this house with me as a realtor, and I got my own commission for that. I was able to get a 2.5, like something like that, 2.5% commission. I ended up making like $6,500 back on the purchase of the home, and then netted to me was about 5K after paying the my broker fees and stuff like that. So then that's also something I have to pay taxes on. It's like, yeah, it's cool I got the 5K, but you also got to pay tax on it. So it's just definitely something to consider. And DL says that 120K is nice on the Ink Prefer. I know. When are we getting this back, man? When are we getting this? Oh, wait a second. Last call. Wait, it's updated January 9th. What did they update a couple days ago? Because I know this ended, yeah, many months ago. Yeah, yeah. You only have until 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on September 5th to get the 120K. I remember when this was going around. A lot of people took advantage. I actually had some links that showed 120K. You didn't, like, some people mentioned you only had to go, like, you had to go in branch, but a few of us had links that were 120K. um, alone for that. So I think that's pretty cool. What did they update though? What did they update on January 9th, 2025? I mean, what is that, 2 days ago? Like, I wonder if they said anything like has changed or a new offer that, yeah, I don't think so. What could they have updated a couple days ago? Maybe there's probably some issue like in the back end, like Chase will kind of update people on their interest rates as the market changes. Everybody's just following treasury bonds and the 10-year rate, and if we're cutting rates, so all that changes your credit card percentage rate, and all these websites need to have that updated, or else they're out of compliance. So something just interesting on the back end. So that's probably what they did. But Caesar said, "I'm going for the Ink Unlimited or cash to pay my taxes." Yeah, I mean, that's great. That's powerful. That's exactly what I would do. If I was anybody else who didn't have four inks already and we were denied for her third one, I would jump on it. I mean, I might do it anyway just for the hell of it and see if I can get five. But like at this point, what am I going to lose? Except for all my chase points if they shut me down. But no, on a serious note, for sure, if you have some sort of a tax payment, I think these are the easiest ones to hit, for sure. If but as we know, some things have gotten more stringent over time with these Ink business cards, at least for right now. Like I said, we could talk about Recon and my experience with that in the last. Man, I called like 4 or 5 times this last week. So I'm trying to get to like 10 recons, and then maybe I'll just give up then. I think that would be funny because that would be a record. I haven't heard anybody call that much. So I want to see if I can hit like 10. So like next week I'm going to do another live Saturday at 9, and I'm talk about like my 10 recons. We'll see what I've learned. And maybe I was able to overturn it. I feel like I'm not, but we'll see. Dead Pride says maybe I should wait for the 120K offer and do Hyatt business first. Want to chase status? I mean, if yeah, I guess if you want to chase status, I could see that too. Um, it just depends. It just depends. Personally, I would value more of the points, like multiple hundreds of thousands chase points to and transfer to Hyatt than status with Hyatt, which is actually a pretty interesting conversation if you think about it. It's like, would you rather globalist or would you rather like 100,000 points? Like, obviously, it's not one or the other. Like, you have to have both because you can't stay there otherwise, unless you're paying cash. But it's interesting to note. But I would probably prefer more stays more of the time, and then just like find a friend who has a guest of honor certificate. Like if you join the venture capital Discord, whoever's not, it's linked down below in the description. We have a travel tab. I mean, people every now and again ask like if anybody has extra guest of honors because there's a lot of globalists that we have. So it might be worth it. It might be worth asking. Hit someone with a referral link, and then they give you a guest of honor or something like that. I don't know. How this works. DL says, can you pay your tax preparer with a credit card, or do you have to use cash? I called a Jackson Hewitt location last month, and that location said they only accept cash for tax preparation. Isn't that kind of funny? Typically when we think of businesses that only accept cash, we usually think like, oh, they're trying to avoid taxes. And then now all of a sudden your tax preparer is the one only taking cash. Like, are you trying to cheat on your taxes, Jackson Hewitt? Like, what's the deal here? No, you can pay with a credit card. Yes, you can. Like I've done H&R Block, I've done independent, firms, the tax office, and they all, they accept credit cards. So yeah, you can use a credit card. In fact, one of my people at H&R Block, which I'm switching away from because I don't necessarily love them anymore. They know about the business of the credit card, so they would laugh and be like, "Which credit card are you using?" To pay for these taxes and stuff like that. And it's like whatever one has the welcome offer. So yeah, you can use a credit card. Jackson Hewitt, at the very worst, just go to H&R. They let me pay with a credit card. And I haven't had issues with that. Block advisors, I've heard are not bad. Haven't used them yet, so I don't know if they have an issue with credit cards, but something to know. Yes, yeah, you should. You can do the tax preparation like that. Mr. Potato was popping. Let's go. CJ Bautista, we're gonna see him in PR. Got to replenish my stocks with that PR redemption. Spent about 119,000 points. Not too shabby. That's right. Yeah. So for those of you who don't know, there's going to be a nice trip coming up for all, or not all, but a lot of YouTube content creators. And obviously open to everyone else, just like we did, Vegas a couple of years ago. We have New Orleans, last September, so a few months ago, and Puerto Rico. It's going to be next November. At the moment, a lot of people have booked one particular hotel, which was a Hilton out there. I could even bring it up. Actually, let me see here. Let me do it on the back end. Boom, boom, boom. Yeah, we'll talk about it. Let's see. So yeah, I don't. CJ did not book this. CJ Bautista in the chat. I think he booked a different hotel, but some people booked this particular one. The Caribe Hilton. So 70,000 points. So yeah, you burned 119. I get it. Hey man, I burned 280,000, but I'm also staying, the 5 nights to get the 5th night free. So yeah, we burned. So now I'm bankrupt in Hilton. Essentially, is what I'm saying. I only have 1,000 Hilton points left. so I'm bankrupt and poor in Hilton now, and it's also why I have to replenish my Amex points because I transferred 70K to cover that, a lot of it. So yes, definitely that's going to be fun. And you spent a lot. You definitely spent a lot. Ms. Potato said, "Is it easier to get a 4th plus Ink Preferred versus Ink Unlimited cash since it doesn't come with the 12-month 0% APR?" So are you saying, based on my given situation, like you mentioning, like, oh, Anthony has 4 inks, so is it better to get, since it's all Ink Unlimiteds and Ink Cashes, is it better to try to get an Ink Preferred versus like another Ink Unlimited or Cash? Unless you're saying get a 4th Ink Preferred, which I think is probably what you mean. So versus Ink Unlimited Cash. I mean, I mean, it depends what the goal is, right? Like, I mean, for me, yeah, if you're somebody who's going to be taking advantage of the 0% APR, I didn't even really look at that. So I guess if you're right, and the Ink Unlimited or Cash are the only ones that have a 0% APR, and you're going to take advantage of that, sure. I don't plan to. I plan to just pay it off right away. But I understand those who might not, and just might want to keep that balance and just pay no interest on it. Then I think that's perfectly viable. Otherwise, if the payment's high enough, then typically I would just default to what's the highest point amount, and that would be the Ink Preferred. So long as you have the taxes to cover that, or not even taxes. We're just talking about general welcome offers. But if you have enough spend, to hit the 8K, and that's okay, that's like no problem whatsoever, versus the 6K, then yeah, I would just opt into the higher offer, personally for me. Deal says 4% cashback on all purchases with US Bank Smartly card or a certain category. So yeah, if you have 100K in assets with the Smartly within some of their qualifying accounts, yeah, you get 4% on everything. Yeah, I believe in no cap whatsoever. And you can get a decision in less than 60 seconds. Isn't that crazy? Who would have thought? Who would have thought? Meanwhile, I'm calling the Recon every day calling Recon to try to get this decision overturned. DL says, how much income is the income that a person can make with a YouTube channel per month? Is it worth the time and effort that it takes to film and edit the videos and answer the comments? It depends on your situation. Like, if I was in any other situation where like I was like I had no money in the bank, nothing invested, um insane overhead, all these different things, yeah, I wouldn't say it can necessarily be worth it for a long time. I've been fortunate enough to have like kind of set myself up in a way to where I was essentially able to like almost retire at 24. I know it sounds crazy, it sounds ridiculous. Like we talk about retire in the way of like, okay, I have things invested. We have some savings between my wife and I. We're cool, and we have a lot of runway during this time where I can just go all in on YouTube and real estate and stuff like that. And obviously, real estate income plus YouTube income is not bad. But definitely the money's not amazing. It's definitely not like guaranteed everyone here is making more than me. But it's only because like I've limited everything else to just this. I love this so much. It's my favorite thing in the world. And then real estate, when I have people that know me, or certain clients and stuff like literally I was just showing houses to somebody earlier. If you're watching, you know who you are. We were just looking at 4 or 5 houses an hour ago, so it's fun. They could just move around and do it and stuff like that. So if I was if I really was struggling, like financially, I wouldn't be here. Like I wouldn't have the time for it. I would just be working constantly, like I was for most of my life before this. So long-winded approach, like so I guess that's the income part of it. Like it's tough, and most channels like will fail. Like it's just like most people won't be able to sustain the workload, plus the like basically most people get burnt out in life, regardless if this is your W-2 employee or if you're a YouTuber, or whatever your income is. Typically when the output of time and the workload that you're actually putting in does not meet the input of income. Like people are very motivated by income. So when the income is great, they're worth doing all. It's worth doing all of the work. In some cases, some people obviously, if you're working like 100 hours a week, you also don't have a life too. So there's a bit of a balance, but typically I found like average workloads 40 to 70, something like that, for your average person. So long as if the money ever dips below the amount of effort perceived, that's when you become like usually upset and angry, and you want to move jobs and stuff like that. So YouTube is very skewed in high effort, high time, a lot of your time, very low income for majority of the time. Fortunately, the credit card niche is one of the highest paying niches as far as like ads are concerned. And I don't know if we want to talk about this more, but I don't know what you guys are interested in. But I think it's interesting because when I wasn't doing this is all I listened to. So like when you're first starting out, like I remember some of the videos I was editing on this phone, literally editing the entire video would take me between 10 and 14 hours per video. And that was before getting to 1,000 subscribers, before being monetized. So you don't get paid anything. I mean, if you're lucky, like someone will use a link to a referral you have down below, something like that. Um, but it's really not worth it. So like you have to get to a point where it's like, a few thousand subscribers, you're already monetized, you can get enough ads, and get enough views. So like basically for every 1,000 views in the credit card niche, typically we'll make like $10 to $15 per 1,000 views. So if you see any people, it's like 1,000 views, like, oh, you made $10 to $15 on that video. So like, is $15 for a video like that worth the 5 hours you have to put into it? I mean, if you do the math on that, how much is that per hour? 5 times 3, right? So $3 an hour. So is it worth it? No. But I do see, but the long term of it is huge. You have to be somebody who's willing to be like, okay, I need to throw everything into this for like 5 years, and then we'll see. Like if you can build up a good following in 5 years, then you kind of like end up at a stage like, oh, let's just say Daniel Braun. He's a huge inspiration for everybody in this niche. Audience of 100 and what 80,000, 60,000, 170,000, something like that. I haven't looked in a little bit. That the amount of influence and money you can make with an audience of that scale is large. I mean, if he's already made videos on how much he's made in a month, and it's a great like guiding light to look towards. But like he's mentioned on his videos, like 40K a month, something like that. I mean, like, so like he went from $2 an hour, but if you just continue on that path and keep going, yeah, now he's, who knows what it is an hour, thousands an hour, probably. Something like that, or at least at least like 1,000 an hour, probably, I'd imagine, worth of his workload. So a long-winded answer is it's tough. It's not for most people, but I think anybody can make it work. It's just the amount of time you dedicate to anything. That's all it ever is for anything in life. Like people always ask, like, if you work out or you learn like a skill or something like that, it's like, how'd you get there? It's like, okay, just like I guess a Bruce Lee-esque, I didn't answer, like, 10,000 10,000 hours of reps in the gym, 10,000 hours of learning a language, 10,000 hours of perfecting the skill. That's typically when you get to mastership, and then people will pay for that because time is money, and time is the most valuable resource. So it's like, if you can pay someone to accelerate your learning, that's the most important. Like that's something you can really, you can accelerate your life very quickly just by having the correct mentors. Hopefully some mentors you don't have to pay for. But that's my long one, and we can talk more about it if you have questions about it. I don't know. It's interesting to me. Gemini, DC Gemini, what's up, man? What's up, Gemini? You're gonna be proud of me, man. I'm starting to book some stuff overseas, starting to book some things. We're getting into it, or almost. Big Bowler MG, Dong Kim, or Surpass to work towards FNC, or Alaska. Did I miss something that you said, Dong Kim? I don't think so. I think you might have been tacking on to somebody else. But Surpass, yeah. I mean, like if you have that amount of spend, like do I put it towards a Hyatt business card that gives me a free night certificate and 60K, or a Surpass that gives me a free night certificate and maybe like 150K or whatever the offer is right now? I think it just went. It's not elevated. Excuse me. I think it's not elevated at the moment. So that's yeah, I mean, it's something to consider. Or Alaska card for the companion pass. I mean, that's powerful too. Yeah, I guess it's just a matter of like, are you planning on flying in certain airlines? Like those 60K on Alaska can go very far, especially via American Airlines. The 60K Hyatt can also go fairly far. I feel like you can go further with the Alaska miles though, and companion pass, but that's just me. Joe Mano, how is ink approval odds at 524 today? You're asking me in 2025? If you were asking me in 2024, I would say you have decent shot. I would say you have a decent shot. I was approved twice at 724, and I know a lot of people were approved at 524 and above. I don't know. I didn't want to believe it, but I do think Chase has tightened a little bit. I really do think Chase has tightened a little bit. So at this point, I mean, if you like don't care about your inquiries like I didn't last year, then you just do it. I mean, who cares? Like I threw some inquiries out there. I did 2 inquiries and got auto denied, and I said, whatever. And then the third one I actually got approved out of nowhere, like a few months later. So it might be worth a shot if you really don't care about the inquiries, and nothing else is happening in your life at that moment that you need your credit for. Then you can just go for it. But odds nowadays, I feel like fairly low. I'll give it a 30%. It feels like 30% right now, but I could be wrong. You never know. Deal says bad. Right, I didn't even notice. Bad. That's bad odds. Wait until one of the 524 fall off. Personally, it's probably the much easier option. Rimji, the issues in US Bank Smartly was mostly in the first few days after the new card. I applied 2 weeks later, and for me, the setup and everything was very smooth, and I was getting 4% in 2 weeks. Really? So, Rimji, let me know how you feel about the transferring process. I'm assuming that's what you mean, but I just want to make sure, like transferring from another brokerage, like if you're not already holding 100K in assets in US Bank, if you know if you transfer it from another brokerage. Let me know how that was if you can. I appreciate it. Tuvi. So on Tuvi, I don't know if I've seen you before, Tuvi. History of what credit card processing fees for taxes have cost. 2003 to 2000. Oh my God, how'd you get this? All right, let's see. 2003 to 2009, 2.49%. So credit card processing fees. Wow. 2010, 1.95%, 2011, 1.9, 1.89, 2013. Wow, they really, huh. Oh, 1.82. Oh, so 20. So I was right. So you're telling me I was right in that I remember this being higher. I don't remember it being 1.82. I thought it was like high, but that makes sense. I actually have a video from a year ago. We can actually probably look back to see what. I mean, should we do? Is it worth it? I don't. I mean, is it worth going back to the video and seeing? Is it really? Now I'm really interested because you just brought up the data. Where is it? I have a video paying taxes of the credit. There it is. You won't be able to hear this, but I think I just saw it. Let's see. Oh, there it is. It was 1.82. I was half right. I knew it was higher than the 1.79 it is today, but 1.82. Look at that. Thank you, too. If you look at that. Wow. So look at that. They're lowering fees. Like, why? Why are they lowering fees? Paying a credit card is this how people are? Is this how we're adding to the national debt? Is this how we're doing it? Is it because it's like, hey, listen, we want to incentivize people pay their taxes on the credit cards, so this way they continue building up debt. We're not the people watching this, right? We're going to pay it off, but everybody else is like, listen, I can't afford this tax payment. It's let me put it on a credit card. Although I would imagine like most people who are paying taxes, like I don't know. I feel like on average they would be making decent. I don't know how many other. I mean, there's a lot of struggling YouTubers like me, but I don't know. That's wow. That's so funny. Let's go, Tuvi. That's so funny. Vin says if you're not working on a sub, then Hilton surpass. I gotta move through these faster. Vin says if you're not working on a welcome over, then Hilton surpasses the 15K free night. Powerful. But the value of the property you redeem at needs to exceed the amount you spend on credit card processing fees. I mean, that's a really good point. Just mentioning, like, if you're going to get a free night certificate for 15K worth to spend, you might as well be at a property that's like fairly expensive on average, but it's also really just so tough to kind of figure out where, oh God, I just saw something. It's kind of hard to figure out, for each property, like, because I had this whole debate with Sean Lane. Not a debate because obviously he knows 1,000x more than I do. But I just wanted to like prod him a little bit because he was like, I want to book this particular Grand Hyatt in was it in where was it? I think it was in Thailand. It might have been Thailand, or it was one of those. It's a country over there. Maybe it was Indonesia. I can't remember. He was like, "There's a certain." Oh no, it was Hong Kong. It was Grand Hyatt Hong Kong, and he was like, I want to book that property, but I just can't justify it. Like it's like the cent per point was only 2.2 or something like that with his Hyatt points. He says, but I was like, but Sean, if you look at that exact same property just a few months later, just a few months later, like in May or whatever it was, the cent per point jumped to like 3.2, call it an extra 1% per point. And he was like, I just could not justify the cent per point. I was like, why are you limited by the arbitrary number that the hotel basically puts on there just based on literally the season, the time of the year? I was like, you want to stay there. Like you've been dying to go here. You said this a couple times now. Why don't you just go there? And he's like, I know. He's like, I know. That's the dilemma. And I think a lot of us have that paralysis analysis on like getting a good deal, right? Everybody wants a good deal. DL says, "You're a likable person. It's easy to see why you're successful on YouTube." Appreciate you. I appreciate it, DL. Thank you for that, sir. You never know. You never know how you come across to the masses, right? So, I definitely don't know, but thank you for the saying that. That does mean a lot. Juan says, "Good evening, Sir Antonio Ventura." That's right. Antonio Ventura is here. Hey, Caleb, in a while. Caleb, I don't know if you want to mention, but I won't say anything. But yes, what's going on, Caleb? Long time no see. I did. Caleb, it's probably like, how the hell are you live right now? Like, didn't I just see you? Ted Price says, thanks, much appreciated. Guest of honor will come in handy. Could ask you, right? For sure. I don't know. Well, you can't ask me because I don't have any. But I do agree. Yeah, ask somebody for a guest of honor. I just think it's better. Just get like more points. I get it. Chasing stat is very powerful with Hyatt, and I don't I don't want to say that's not powerful. It's like the most powerful status. I just think like depending on how hard it is for you, like some people get hit it no problem. Like some people have 60 days no problem in Hyatt's just through their work travel. In fact, I think me and Eric Gow talked about that the other day. So it's like, yeah, you can, you can easily, if you could easily do it, sure. But if it's like a real hard stretch, you're like, this is gonna, like, I'm gonna have to book a $3,500, a 3,500 point Hyatt place down the road and not even stay in there. Just book it, check in one day, and then just come home for 2 weeks just to hit it. Then, just ask somebody for a guest of honor. There's so many people that are willing to give them up because they want their elite nights, right? They want to hit globals next year, so that helps them out by giving it to you. It was like the main issue is people don't want to give them to people who are not going to use it. So like Sean Lane gave me his guest of honor when I stayed in the Wild Dunes Hyatt Resort destination brand in Charleston, South Carolina. So I used it, had a great time, and gave him an elite night, and probably gave him a globalist again. So it's a win. It's a win for everybody. DL says, if you get a real estate license, do you still have to get a job with a brokerage before selling real estate, or can you start your own brokerage from the beginning? If so, what would it take? So a couple of these things depend on the state. For the most part, yes. If you get a real estate license, you need to hang your hat, so to speak, your license, with a brokerage account. So this is like EXP, who's Keller Williams, Coldwell Bankers, all these different brokerages. You go in there, you basically do an interview process. But if you're like with a big firm like that, a big brokerage, usually they'll just like hire you on the spot because it doesn't really add much to them on the back end. And all of it's basically on you, and they have like easy onboarding processes to train you and get you on board and get you out selling real estate. Otherwise, no, you can't. You really can't sell real estate without being with a brokerage first, because you have to be affiliated with a brokerage to be able to like start writing the contracts under them and be affiliated with them. So so there's no real way. I'm not sure if every state, however, I know these things can change from state to state. At least in South Carolina, we just had a whole revamp of license law and the real estate commission. It's been bad. Like, you're going to see a lot of changes very soon, if you haven't already, in the real estate world going forward, because these changes not only affected South Carolina, it affected the entire country. In ways you can buy and sell real estate and stuff like that. Like the biggest example people mention is like, oh, if I go to, I'm an agent and I'm trying to represent you to buy a house. Typically in the past, we've been able to look at look at the selling listing, and they'd be like, okay, we're offering the buyer's agent, so like me in this case, 3% commission on finding a buyer for this home. Well, now that's illegal. You can't actually showcase any numbers like that anymore. And that was one of the biggest changes in the last few months, or I guess last 6 months, to where now you're not allowed to advertise any sort of commission. I think the idea behind it was they were trying to dissuade realtors from just going after the highest percentage commissions possible, because some would be 2.5, 3. Some, I even represented a deal that was 6%. So these things are possible, but they just, I guess, to dissuade realtors from being like, hey, let's look at these houses. Let's not go to the 2% neighborhood over there. Let's go to the 3%. So I think that was their idea. But what that effectively does is, like, now sellers kind of have a thing now where it's like, okay, I'm not guaranteed to offer anything to the buyer. And of course, buyer is going to want their cut regardless. But I think this really goes back on the person using. And this is good to know, even though it's not credit cards. It's good to know for you guys who are going to buy a house. If you're working with an agent to buy a house, make sure you read the contract when you sign the buyer's agency. Huge. This is like the biggest thing, and this will save you a lot of headache. And it's, I'm going against my fellow realtors by saying this, but it's important you guys know if they don't disclose to you, because a lot of agents won't do this. In the contract now, when you go to like sign with with an agent to go and buy a house, maybe your first house, in there'll be a clause that states, should we not be able to secure commissions from the seller, someone selling the house, like the 2-3% that was standard in the past, then I still, since I'm a buyer's agent, I am owed that 2 or 3%. And if it doesn't come from the seller, then it comes from you, the buyer. So not only do you have to pay for the down payments, the closing costs, appraisal fees, also inspection fees, all these different things, termite inspections, radon, all these different things. But you'll also have to pay the agent his 2 or 3% cut. And if it's like a 300K house, I mean, now you're paying the agent on top of a 5% down payment, on top of a 2.5% closing cost fee, on top of all the other fees, a 3% agent fee. And that's, another 10K out of your pocket. And if you're okay with that, you'll sign off on that, and then cool. But a lot of agents, I would imagine, are not disclosing that to everybody. So I think it's good to know as a buyer for you guys, if you're going to work with an agent, look at that clause, see what it states on there, because it could be a flat fee. It could just be like, listen, I know you're owed something because you're helping me find a house. Like, agents should be compensated for their work. But give me 2,000. I don't know, something like that. Like 1% of the deal, at least 1% will come out of the buyer. Should we not be able to secure anything from the seller? Just so you guys know. So that's a long-winded thing, but that was like the change in license law and stuff like that. One of the changes was, to your question here, if you have to get a job with like, could you just start your own brokerage? So to be able to be a broker in South Carolina, you need to be a licensed real estate agent for 5 years. Literally, I could have opened up my brokerage here in South Carolina, because I only moved here a few years ago. I could have done it this year, or maybe this year coming. Or yeah, I guess this year, so I guess like when it was 3 years, but now they literally just upped it to 5 years. So I would have to technically wait a couple of years to do it. So that could vary by state. I don't know if there are some state. I highly doubt there are any states that allow you to just like open up a brokerage without ever like selling real estate. It's possible. I think technically there are ways around it, though. I mean, like, technically I think you could probably start a brokerage, but you just hire a broker, to front man it. There's probably ways around that, but I never really went into it. But yeah, so typically you have to be an agent for a certain amount of time, and then you could open up a brokerage. Sunman says, some go burr. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. And that's why I'm like really struggling with these taxes. I'm like, I got 5K, but my favorite, tax, or I mean, like, instrument right now is the ink cards, and I'm stopped out of them. So I'm like, what can I do? So that's why I'm looking at the Amex Business Gold. Rem G says, if you have 2 or more ink cards, ink recon is a rude no without any form of reconsideration. More like 524 hard no. Yeah, actually, I will concur, because that's what I'm going through at the moment. So like, she got denied for an ink cash. And I've called like a bunch of times now, and it's been a very firm no. We are doing reconsideration every time, but each time it's no. We weren't able to overturn the decision. And I've tried 3 different things. Like, I've tried literally, I've tried three separate things. I've tried. Initially, I was just like, maybe it's just verifying identity, something like that. So they got a couple questions from me, and then they went to the reconsideration, and then it was denied. Again, and then the second day I was like, maybe it's credit limit. Could I start moving credit limits around to like take less? Like, they one of the reasons we were denied, we were like, oh, it's too much credit limit. That we're pushing out there, to you. We don't want to take that risk, right? So I was like, okay, can you just like take half the credit limit on one of the cards and just like get me approved for this one? Give me the minimum limit. I don't care. And they said, okay, so let's try it. And they said, no, of all of your ink cards, they haven't been open for a year yet, and we can only start transferring credit limits to approve you for a card if you've had it one of these ink cards open, these business cards open for another for a year plus. I was like, okay, cool. Third day, I came in, I called Recon, and then I was pleading with them. I was like, I just had the hardest day. It's like, it's like the hardest day. Like I'm really, maybe you can make my day better. I don't know. Something like that. I was like, I'm really struggling because it's the beginning of the year. I really want to be able to organize all of my spend. You guys are my favorite bank, of all time, Chase. I just want to organize my spend in the best way possible. So this way, at the end of the year, taxes are easy, and this way, all of my business spend was put at the beginning. And then they said no. They said, Recon, okay, we couldn't overturn it. So thanks. Thanks. So I don't know. I'm gonna try a lot of different ways, but I don't know if I'm gonna get through. I don't think I'm gonna get through, but I'm gonna keep trying. Hey, 31st Skyline, what's popping? How's the channel going, man? I haven't stopped by in a little bit. I got targeted for a 90K offer for the unlimited. Currently, oh really? Oh, you got a mailer? Nice. I would like that right now. And currently doing that sub, and I do want the in cash. Can you convert in cash statement credit to points to transfer to Sapphire Preferred? I don't know what you mean by statement credit on that card, but I mean, if the question is like, can you just take all of your points from the in cash and the ink unlimited and just transfer that to the Sapphire Preferred, then yes. I mean, you can pull all of your points to the Sapphire Preferred and then use that to transfer to partners. That's what I do. I just consolidate it all. Maybe educate me on the statement credit if that's something I'm missing. But I'm just assuming you mean can you pull your points? But let me know, Skyline. Davos says we're gonna make it rain Hilton gift cards at the Green Day. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't know. I think it's funny. I think it's funny. Maybe it's me just wanting to see, just like I just like it if a community can come together sometimes and make some real change. And I mean, I get it. We've talked about this in the Discord a few times, right? I'll bring it up on the screen. Here we go again. The language has gotten worse since we were last live. We showed this last time. It's gotten worse. So right now, dear Hilton gift card purchasing customer or consumer, they literally just had like what they really mean is dear credit card enthusiast crowd. Due to an unforeseen, you should have been watching the YouTube videos, man. Inventory shortage of Hilton gift cards. RPG, that's the company that sells them, has been instructed to temporarily suspend the sales of Hilton gift cards until card inventory is replenished by the Hilton program management team. We are expecting replenished inventory to be available within the next 8 weeks. So all of this, so that's that's gotten even worse than the last time I saw. And so basically, the credit card community has broken Hilton and RPG. We've broken them. And listen, it's the way the credit works. Why not just issue? Like why not just issue a digital card? Why do we have to have physical cards? Obviously, the reason is breakage. A lot of these consumers. I think there's an article somewhere I could probably find that states about 20% of all issued gift cards all basically render useless. They all get thrown out. They get destroyed. They never get used. They get forgotten about. So like it's good. Like an easy way to increase the bottom line on the balance sheet for a company is to just issue gift cards. Starbucks is infamous for this. They're like some of the first ones to really popularize in a huge way, like most of people spend on their gift cards and stuff like that. So and the reason is because most of them get thrown out. So like you want to just boost 20% of some of your profits, like just issue gift cards physically. So like obviously they don't want to just issue online ones, even though there still will be some breakage, aka people not using them, but definitely less so. But I'm also wondering, like Jim Kay, I had him on the podcast recently. He said, this had to have been a big thing in the past, like having Hilton gift cards, because we didn't have Hilton gift card all the time with credit cards. This is a recent thing within the last year. So like they had this for a long time. So it must have been a decent like business for them. So I can't imagine they just, I don't know, they're just thinking about it now. So I don't know. It's definitely got to stay around for the future. I don't think they'll just get rid of it, but issue an online one if there's really going to be this big of a holdup. I mean, either way, the money gets circulated back to the cards anyway. Or to the company anyway. But yeah, that's bad. That language is bad. That's bad. Oh Lord. Uh, just getting a fourth ink. Mr. Potato, killing it, man. Listen, come to my side. Come to the fourth ink crew. I'm gonna see if I can get five. I think it'd be cool, but I don't know if I will. CJ Bautista said, "Everyone books so early." Oh God, I'm really late. I'm doing the. Oh my God, this was 29 minutes ago. Oh my goodness. Listen, all right, we're gonna have to. All right. Listen, this is good though. I like being behind. Usually, I get caught up too fast, so I don't know. I will get through it all though. So I appreciate you guys hanging out. CJ Bautista said everyone booked so early the nights for that the nights were taken for the Hilton Caribe. Yeah, yeah. I mean, I think it's technically available if you do the 6th to the 11th or the 6th to the 10th, maybe. But I get it. You know, that's a long time to stay. And the Hyatt House is right down the road. It's literally like right across the bridge in San Juan. So it's fine. It's fine. And at the Garden Inn, right across the water from you guys, you just be waving from across. It's all right. You just come over, use the gift cards, do whatever, hang out. Yeah, Sunmaster says the staff at Caribe is going to have nightmares about the gift cards for at least a few weeks after. I cannot wait. I'm gonna try to record it if I can see it happen. I can't. I really can't wait. It's the funniest. It's the I can't wait to just burr, like literally thousands of them. That's hilarious. Rodrigo says, if Chase asked you to provide proof of business, what would you need to show? How would they verify you're a legit business? Asking for a friend. So okay, so there's a couple ways I've heard. Like there's a couple things I've heard. So personally for me, they verify just by asking the nature of the business, to which I'm able to, tell them what the business is depending on, what the card we applied for was. Another thing they do is they'll ask, in some cases, like, um, they'll re-ask all of the same questions that they you do on the application. So like years in the business, revenue and estimated spend, stuff like that. Usually not estimated spend though, just like yearly revenue, um, estimated, and then years in the business. And so that's like one of their things to prove that it's like legit or not. And they'll ask you like, like if there's any discrepancy. That's why sometimes we do these applications fast, but at least for these business cards, it's really good to write down what you wrote, because obviously uh, you have the numbers in your head and everything, should be legit. You should be doing things the correct way. And so, but sometimes we forget, like, I'll forget sometimes if I put a number at like, like in the past, like 39.5, or did I put 41.5? Like, I just can't remember because I just mixed up applications or something. So it's good to write down like years in the business, like what was the actual starting date? Because, memory is one of the worst things that we have. Like it's, like memory we have set, like it's one of the, what is it that's like, what did I hear say that there's like memory is one of those things that we rely so heavily upon in certain things, but it's like the least consistent thing that we could fall upon, like in the court of law. Like it's the lowest level of proof. It's like your memory or something like that. I don't know. But it doesn't serve you. So like, if you said February versus January, like that's a discrepancy, and that's, that's a clause that maybe they should send you to the fraud department. And that happened to my brother-in-law. He didn't have numbers necessarily written down. He forgot some of the numbers, and he just, did it real quick. And then they asked him the numbers, and it was totally wrong. They transferred him to the fraud department, and then and he eventually he was innocent enough to be like, listen, it was just it was an accident. It was nothing crazy. They actually approved him, and that they approved him for it in cash. Literally, like only 6 to 8 months into his credit card journey. Literally, first card was a Capital One Platinum card. A few, like 6 months later, got it in cash. It's crazy. This was in October though. So yeah, they'll ask that stuff. They'll ask like re-asking all the application details. Then they'll ask, what is, like, verbally, what's your business? So like they asked me that the other day, and I just told them, like, freelance writing and all that, those different things, or in my case, YouTube and real estate, depending on the business. I have heard, in the most stringent of cases, that they asked for like literally profit and loss numbers for your business. I haven't heard of anyone actually, like, at least for Chase. Some other, I believe for some other issuers, I might have heard like Barclays or something asked for like an actual P&L, like for an LLC. But for Inc so far, for the Chase so far, I've only heard like, hey, what's your profit and loss? And like some people just like don't have those numbers offhand. Like some of these businesses are just like they're not. It's not like running 100K, a year through credit cards, or a million a year through credit cards. Like, it's like a side thing. Like, some people mention like eBay stores and stuff like that. So they don't know like their profit and loss statement. They just know they're making more than they did. Like, they don't know the percentage of 10% margins. So just be aware that they might ask some of those things, and just have a ballpark figure. I haven't seen anything where they had to like actually verify, like send in your P&Ls, because like for a lot of us who are doing sole prop, like we're not required to have that. It's nice, but not necessarily required. You just kind of pay taxes as you normally do each year, and send everything into your tax guy. Filmo says Antonio Ventura. Oh, so sorry. Let me just to cap it off. That's basically that's basically what they'll ask. Filmo says Antonio Ventura. ¿Qué pasó, amigo? Hey, ¿qué pasó, Filmo? Chase told me no again on Recon. Ink train derailed at stop 4 for now. I'm saying. I mean, listen. I didn't want to believe it. But I really do think. I really do think Doctor of Credit and those aggregate data points are correct. Let me see if I can bring it up to get things here. Where is it? Here it is. Yeah, I honestly, I didn't want to believe it. I'm usually a naysayer. Like, I like to kind of trust but verify. But like maybe you guys have seen, but like basically this is some of the data points they found between these 100 people. Basically, if you had 0 ink cards, 87% chance getting your first one. 1 to 2, or 1 to 2 is 68%. 2 to 3, a little better than a coin toss. If you have 3 ink cards, 18% chance of getting your fourth. And if you have 4, you have a 0% chance based on the 14 data points. 15 with Filmo, or I guess maybe the 41. So I didn't want to believe it, but now that I'm just seeing more data points, I think it's kind of correct. I think it might be correct. So I'm at stop 4. My wife's at stop 2, trying to get to stop 3, but it might be derailed. I hate to say it. Like, anybody who made out last year made out like a bandit. Like anything in this game, these things change all the time. Millennial Mom. Hey, Millennial Mom, you updated your picture. Very nice. That's a very nice. Look at that professional photo. Not like the old one was not professional, but that's good. Tell me more about your real estate journey. Love to see it. Yeah, I mean, if you have questions or anything, hell yeah, we'll talk about it. Or if that's what you guys are interested in, we can do that. I think it is pretty interesting. Like, at least for my real estate experience, even though it's not like a decade of experience, of like actively helping people find houses and walking through and doing these everything. I've had like the largest amount of like weird and eclectic mix of every type of like transaction you can think of, like land, industrial. People want to build gas stations, done land. I've been in like the worst of worst houses where like the floors are falling apart. I've been in century-old homes. I mean, $1 million homes, done things like that, and everything in between. Like any weird situation, like houses falling. Like, I've been in like every weird situation, not everyone, but a lot of them, to be fairly like good understanding of like how most of these deals work. And then like also a lot of different loans, like USDA loans and FHA construction loans, and so many different types, cash deals. Like, it's kind of crazy what's possible in such a short amount of time too. Like, I don't know how I found all these people, but it's interesting. But the people have been great. It's fun to go through it all. Hey, Randall Rains, haven't seen you in a while. Impressive. Let's see Paul Allen's credit card. You like that American Psycho reference? What's going on, Randall? Millennial Mom, I love hearing you talk about YouTube. I love it. YouTube's my favorite thing. Upload a new video today. All right, everybody, go subscribe. Go hit up Millennial Mom. Click on it. Head on over, and we have to watch it. Am I subscribed? Hold on. Am I subscribed to Millennial Mom? Millennial Mom. Wait, is this finance, isn't it? Oh no. Oh, Money Mom. Right. Yeah. Millennial Money Mom. Am I not subscribed? This is gonna look bad for me if I'm not. Damn it, I'm not. All right, we're subscribed now. What kind of content are you doing here? I do have technically, Millennial Mom, I do have some sort of a side private, YouTube consulting thing. I'm just kidding. it's pretty interesting. I would love to just do like a quick, audit here on some of these things. Want free products by Amazon influencer strategy revealed. Interesting. Yeah, we can maybe talk in Discord or something like that. I'll give you some stuff. This is good. I like this. We'll go subscribe to that and we'll see what the deal is. But good to know. Good to know. I love it. I love it. Growing fast. Ms. Potato says, have you considered creating real estate content? Yeah. I did technically film. Basically how I bought my first. I guess the title is how I bought my first house at 27 as a real estate agent, as my own agent. And I just kind of went through step by step, literally everything I went through from beginning to end, and how the credit cards affected like the loan application too, but basically everything. So I'll probably work on that at some point and then upload it. I just talked to Calvin from 850 Club Credit. He went into the real estate, so I would love to. I would say out of the three pillars, it's like it's odd because it's like, yeah, I've helped a lot of people with houses, but I only bought my first house, and like some of these people online, it's a million rentals, millions of dollars in rental. Like, how could I really add to that marketplace? With being so, just me. But I also understand it. Like, at least I could get people to like at least where I'm at, as far as like understanding the loan process and understanding incentives and homes and all these different things. So I don't know. It could be value in it. It's technically the thing I have the least amount of knowledge in, is in comparison to like, I guess, general finance, like stocks, credit cards, real estate, something like that. But definitely, it's interesting. I like it all. Oh, Tariq Burks came in hot with a 5 super chat. Appreciate you, sir. Nothing. Wait, didn't say. Wait, does it not show that you said anything? Oh, it doesn't show you said anything. No, for sure. Oh God, how far am I? So thank you, Tariq, for that. Appreciate the super chat. Appreciate you. And thank you, sir. I wish I wish I could say something, but we'll just blank. But appreciate you. Let me see here. Oh my God, I missed a lot. I'm listening so much. Oh my God. Deal says, is that if you prepare your own taxes, if you have a 2% catch-all card, you get your money back for the processing fees. That's cool. Yeah. So relating to, I think, what we showed earlier, in case anybody was not caught up, they lowered the percentage of the paying, your taxes with a credit card online through the IRS.gov website from 1.82, which we found out from was it Vuv, I think the names, but from my old video where I was showing that. To 1.75. So I guess, yeah, if you have a catch-all 2% card, you're technically profiting 0.25 just by using the credit card in this way. So yeah, I mean, that's true. And they accept all of these. Look at this: Visa, MasterCard, Discover, America, Star, Pulse. Look at all these different. Genie. What's Genie? Shazam? These are these credit? These debit cards? Oh wait, I think I might have heard of it. I'm not sure. Digital wallet, click to pay, PayPal. Interesting. So that's good to know. But yeah, technically. RMG. Okay, so we got to it. I'm so late. So talking about the U.S. Bank Smartly card and transferring 100K in assets from another brokerage to U.S. Bank. So it took 5 days without any issues. Requested a line, did not call. Their notification is non-existent, so that's reaffirming that. Had to check the account to confirm, and 4% level a few days later. I mean, it's good to know. That's good to know that it really wasn't that hard to do that. So maybe it was like the first responders to it who really had issues with it, but that's good to know. 5 days to transfer from another brokerage, 4% a few days after. That's cool. Thank you for that data point there, Rem. I'll keep that in the memory for the future. Boxer. What's going on, Boxer? Hey, Anthony, any updates on Chase Recon for your wife's car? Just had a very interesting situation. Let us know. I'd love to hear the interesting situation, because we're talking, I think you just came in, or actually, no, you probably were here as I was talking through it, so I might not have to repeat it, but I will anyway. Just a quick update. Called a bunch of times, basically just called a million times. I tried a lot of different ways, but they've basically reconsidered it 3 times, denied all 3 times. I'm going to try to get to 10. And then I'll probably give up. So that's the update. I think I'll do another stream next week though, because I'll have more. I think I'll have the same level of insight as now, but I will have just called another 5 times. So that's just something, so you guys know. That's what that's what I'm gonna do. So I think next Saturday I'll go live again, unless I change it. But I think I'll talk about that more. Deal. Is it possible to have a YouTube channel registered to an LLC and have YouTube pay your company, or does it have to be in a personal name and they pay you directly as a person? Yeah, so I believe you can register as an LLC and have that be the company. I think you still would have to. I think you technically still would have to like obviously like verify the owner of it, like your personal information. But yeah, I think you should be able to have the LLC and have them pay straight to the company itself. Wait, was that part of your question, or does it have to be in the personal and they pay you directly as a person versus? Yeah, I think they can pay it to the LLC. I could be wrong. That is a very good question. I should look into that. I just haven't needed to do that yet. But that's interesting. I would imagine so. I mean, so many companies like Mr. Beast. There's no way it's like only his personal thing. Like he has a million channels. They have to all end up be like Beast Unlimited or whatever his LLC is. And this is paying through them, and that's the way you can kind of defer taxes in a way. I would imagine. I mean, luckily, the only thing is, YouTube revenue, at least in my case, I don't know if it changes for levels, but at least in my case, it's all taxed as if it was a royalty. Which doesn't have the same amount of effect as just like normal a credit on your personal, like if you just didn't W-2 employee or stuff like that, or just getting income straight to your person as like a Schedule C or something like that, as standard income towards your business. But it's taxed as a royalty, which yeah, it's a little bit different. So it's interesting how they actually like change that, or at least how it shows up on your taxes. So, but obviously, if you have if you have like an S corporation, yes, you can just have YouTube pay the business, and then you just pay yourself a certain subsection of that, and thus some of that could be tax shielded in a way for sure. Chombe Halas. Hi Anthony and everyone here. Amex Platinum Personal or Amex Platinum Business? Straight up, love it. So I mean, what's the goal? What's the goal with the Amex Platinum Personal versus the Amex Platinum Business? For I would say majority of people who are just like in the game, mid game, something like that, it probably makes more sense to have personal. There's a lot more credits to use in the earlier stages to make more sense. Like obviously airline credit, Cool United, Travel Bank. If that's how you're doing it, or really cheap Delta flights. In that way, for that method, $200, use it on FHR. That very easy to use. You get your lounge access, like cool. You can justify it with some of those credits. Business Platinum is definitely for people a little bit more into the gaming side of things, or just have a lot of spend, have a lot of points. Just because I would say some of the main selling points on that is like it doesn't have a $200 hotel credit, which sucks. You hate to see it, but it does have actually. Yeah, I guess they did just introduce a $200 Hilton credit, so actually, kind of technically a $200 hotel credit, just broken up into 50 per quarter. You have your Dell credits, which some people get microphones with. They get some things with Dell. Some people just get the items and then sell them on eBay, to reimburse. I don't personally want to do that at this moment, but I think one of the main selling points of the business card is like, yeah, if you have a lot of Amex points, you can do some damage with that 35% rebate on your selected airline. If like you're spending 100K Amex points on this Delta flight, you'll get refunded or rebated back that 35%. So 35,000 points, at 1 cent per point, which you technically could cash out with a business platinum card at 1 cent per point. That's $350. I mean, that's half your annual fee on one of those flights. Like you have a few of those flights with a lot of Amex points. Yeah, you could do some damage with the platinum business. But I think if you don't have a lot of points, not a true gamer at heart, probably personal platinum, you get everything you need, and it's easier to justify. Bigger players and the need for some of those Dell credits and all those other credits, business platinum, at least in my mind, the way I kind of look at it is like bigger players, maybe platinum business personally. But what are you guys' thoughts as well? Woodsy said, Woodsy, yo, super late, but I arrived. He arrived. Appreciate you, Woodsy, man. It's always good when Woodsy arrives. You always have like a good feeling, if he's here. Because Woodsy's always like doing yard work or something like that. He's always working. Catch now, Joe. When will you get back in the Tesla free videos? Oh god, no! You're the first person ever like confront me live about it. I'm actually now. You know what? I'll just say it. I was surprised because when Calby went from being a cat to a human, everybody was pissed and nobody stops talking about it. It's been a year. Everybody's pissed. I went from the car for 2 years into like, apartment and now home, and nobody really said much. Like it was very rare. And I wonder, I don't know how. I don't know if it's because I film in so many different places, but I thought for sure people would be like, get back in your car, get back in the office, the car office. I mean, the answer is whenever I'm driving and I can film something on the fly, I don't think I can go back in there anymore. Like I love the car office, but it takes a long time to set up. It's cold out there, especially if a garage now. It's like it's freezing in there. There's no lights. I don't know. I don't know if I ever will. And I remember saying years ago, I was like, I don't think I'll ever get out. And now I'm like, I don't think I'll ever get in. so, so I don't know. I don't know. But it's so much easier in here. I could see why people did not fill in their car for years. Jordy says, "What's up? What's going on, Jordy? Looking for my first business checking and credit card. Looking at Chase and Amex." So that's an interesting question. Looking for my first business checking and credit card. Obviously, there's always the caveat of like which currency do you want to earn, right? It's like, Amex or Chase. Personally, for me right now, from my personal experience, I think I don't know. I feel like I'd rather have the business checking with I mean, I guess they're very similar, right? Like both Chase and Amex for the business checking accounts both have incentives. Like right now, I think at the lowest level, you can get a Chase business checking account do direct deposit of 2K within 90 days, and they'll give you I think a $350 or $300 or $350 in cash into your brokerage account. Okay, cool. Amex, if you do their business checking account, you at the moment you just have to do $5,000 in direct and no $5,000 deposit. So it doesn't have to be direct deposit. So it could just be like literally transferring money from a brokerage account, other savings account, straight into Amex checking, $5,000. Keep it in there for I believe 60 days. And then you'll get a bonus of like 30 to 60,000 Amex points, depending when you do it. So I guess the cash value is actually kind of the same, probably more in favor of Amex, and it's a lot easier since it's not direct deposit. You also have to do like 5 qualifying transactions, but like pay with the debit card or just like transfer money. You can like transfer money 5 times. That's fine. So actually Amex business checking is probably better for the bonus, but not for like the utility of it. I know a lot of people, and myself included, I don't really like the user interface with the Amex business checking. It's kind of annoying. And I think some people have had issues with it. Like, I don't know, making payments through there. And I don't know, maybe you guys have a different experience. I just remember hearing that Chase seems to be a lot easier on the UI side, a lot easier to actually like, I know some people like to like split payments, stuff like that. So I think the business checking actually for Chase might be easier to use, but Amex is a little more valuable. And then the cards, depends how much you got to spend. Chase business cards are a lot easier. 6K to 8K, 6 to 8,000. You get some good welcome offers. Amex, 10 to 20,000. That's what you're gonna have to spend. So, it depends how much you got to spend too. Personally, I would just go with Chase. If I have to make I feel like if you put a gun to my head, it's gonna be Chase. Sean B, what's up, Anthony? Hey, Sean, how'd you like the snow in Greenville? How was it? The snowmageddon we had, it was like 1 inch. Yeah, how was it, Sean? Oh, Mike Newland. Whoa, 20 spot. Appreciate you, sir. Oh wait, here we go. Mike Newland, 20 spot. You have a furry friend adding to your live setup behind you. Yeah, I do actually. Let me see. Meow. Did you hear that? Meow. There you go. Yeah, upside down head is what we call her there. Yeah, that's Ramona. Yeah, so basically this cat like freaks out over anything. She'll be running around, she'll be putting her head through the wall. Like literally, like I watched her run full speed and like doom, like that, like head hit and then fold into like the glass doors over there. And it's like boom, out of her mind, jumps on top of the TV that's like 10 feet in the air, out of her mind. But only when me and my wife are together. Only when we're in the same room. If we're in separate rooms like we are right now, she'll just come hang out, and she just looks like she's looking at the stream right now. She just hangs out, and she doesn't, like nothing, like there's no issue. And then as soon as we get together, go, 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 ruin everything. Meow, meow. Yeah, she'll talk back. That's why I'm meowing. I'm not just a crazy guy, all right? She actually talks back if you meow. So thank you, Mike, for that. Her grand appearance back there. That's so funny. Thank you for that, Mike. Appreciate you. That's funny. Rizzy said I was at Cancun, Hilton, Waldorf last year in September, and they didn't take gift cards. I have a feeling those high end ones don't. It's true. Yeah, I think there's a subreddit where, yeah, it's true. Yeah, internationally for sure, people have issues with gift cards. Puerto Rico, we might walk in there and they just say these gift cards aren't. No, no, definitely not. Like you're not. We don't care, and they'll cut it up in front of you. Vincent with the backing of the 1 cent per point 35, like I mentioned. Hell yeah. CJ says, anyone know how to how Recon is for both? I got an eye. I'm not sure. Hopefully someone has info. I think Chad does. Corporate volume card acquisition. Oh no, sorry. Why does Amex Business Green even exist when there's a BBC and a BBP? And Chad says corporate volume card acquisition. And let me see if I can bring it up here. Here's something interesting that I think a lot of people don't realize, but it is a big business, as Chad says, even though it might be slightly different than what he's mentioning. But yeah. So some of you may not know, but there are different Amex cards. And thank you, Mike, again. Mike Newland, appreciate you. 20 spot. Yeah, so the corporate cards. So basically, as far as I can tell, some businesses are eligible. I remember seeing something about like if the business that you're working for does 4 million in revenue every year, technically they would be eligible for the corporate program. I think I might have heard some people less, but I remember reading that and hearing like firsthand from people who have these cards, and I think that might be true. And when you go through it, they actually, ask like, is your revenue above or under 4? It's literally, that's the number, above or below 4 million. But they have these different cards that have like it's a blast from the past, right? It's like the corporate platinum card's $550 annual fee. And it comes with the 199 clear, it comes with the global lounge collection, but I don't believe it has anything else. I mean, it could be wrong. We can learn more. Let's see. I don't remember if it I don't think it it does have it. Okay, so it has a $200 airline credit. Okay, so same as the vanilla, $200, and then also 120 for global entry. But there's no hotel credit. I don't believe. I think last time I researched it, it didn't. But you can get a platinum card with your lounge access and all those different things for $550, which is very cool. I believe if your business that you're working for has that, I mean, I don't know, maybe you could pitch them to get the corporate cards. But some of these companies will automatically have them, and you can get them under their thing. One thing a lot of people also don't know on top of that is, which I don't think I can find here, but if you're somebody who has some of these corporate cards, like annual fee $250 on this, technically, if you own these, you also are eligible to get a credit back on your personal cards. So it's I could probably find it, but I just recite from memory. I believe if you have like a corporate platinum card, they'll give you $150 off on your personal card. Maybe it's 200, might be 200, something around there, where like you pay $695 now, but they'll actually reimburse you like an extra $150, $200. The gold, I think it's like $150. The green, it's like $100 or $50, something like that. So yeah, I mean, if you have corporate cards, just know you can get a discount on your personal. And if you don't have corporate cards, pitch your business. Tell them get it. Because listen, you can pay $550 for a corporate platinum and get some global lounge access. I mean, remember when it was $550? That's when I got the card 4 years ago. $550 annual fee for sure. But I know, like Chad says, there's a lot of volume through these cards alone. Through some of these businesses, a lot of people put a lot of spend to them, for sure. So that's good to know. It's good to know. Deal says, if you start a business account for a new LLC, how do you get approved for a business credit card if you don't have business revenue yet, but have good personal credit? I think the idea is, they have certain parameters in place. Like with Chase, we've basically zeroed in on like if the business is under a year old, like if you mention it's under a year old, like with an LLC, typically, if you do everything, you have the formation date, and it's like, okay, it was January 11th, 2025. So you have that, and one, yeah, you could technically get approved for a business card, and you would be fine. If you know, but I guess one, you'd have to lie, right? That it's over a year. I mean, unless you just put it at like the date and somehow you got approved, cool. But they have these parameters in place where it's like, okay, maybe you say over a year. I don't know. Maybe some people lie about it and then they get approved, then cool. But if you get denied and you call Recon, it's like, okay, where's your articles of formation, something like that for an LLC? I guess they could ask for that, and so you have that there, and then they kind of take the decision from there. So for sure, there are some things with that. I personally though, I haven't seen anyone like like any of these agents be super stringent, at least on Chase's side. Other companies maybe a little bit more so. But I think on average it doesn't necessarily matter. Like if you could just if and also like you mentioned like revenue yet. Technically a lot of that is estimated revenue. I mean, I always like to mention like I'm a real estate agent. Uh Interest rates are high. Maybe I have no clients. Maybe I have zero. Maybe last year or years before I had 30. So like how could I accurately say how many clients I'm going to get at the beginning of the year when I haven't put all the marketing out there? I haven't spoken to enough clients, stuff like that. So how would I know? So a lot of it is like estimated. It's like it's what can you reasonably make, things like that. So you know you can just have an estimation of what you think. Like, if you put your business plan together, right, you should know. Maybe we'll make 1,000 this year, 5,000. So just something to think about. Millennial Mom says, thank you. Anytime, anytime. Appreciate you being here as always. Vince says, chasing cash, great first business card. Rodrigo, have you looked into the Mesa program, competitor built? It's a card that will earn you points on mortgages. Yeah, I saw Mac Lawson was talking about it. You know, I saw he was going into it. I think what were his worries? I think his worries were like, okay, are they actually going to be able to like even they are offering it, but I thought he was worried like, are they going to come to market or something like that? I think he was a little skeptical of them. I never actually looked into it specifically. I just think like, yeah, it could be valuable, but I'm not familiar with Mesa's program. Like, do they also have like what Built has? Like Built has a lot, and Built just announced like, yeah, mortgages are coming in 2025, at least a direct way to pay your mortgage. So like if they don't, if Mesa doesn't have any like the reason Built is successful is because they have a powerful currency. If they didn't have any of these transfer partners, any of these different things, like no one's going to earn their points. So like if Mesa's just, hey, you earn Mesa points and then you can cash out at 0.6. It's like cash out into your bank account at 0.6. It's like, who cares? So that's the only thing that would sell me on. It's like, is it a better program than Built? Okay, no. Okay, I'll just wait. Like, hopefully they roll it out in a couple months, a direct way to pay your mortgage with Built. Then cool. Hey, Cesar. Mr. Anthony Ink Train Venture. I don't know, man. We might be done with the Ink Train. I don't know. Getting denied. Recon's not going through. The man, the myth. I appreciate you saying that. Mr. Potato says, I find real estate channels about my local market informative and offer a niche and localized view. Oh yeah, I agree. And if I was like all in real estate, this channel would be nothing. It would be very small. I wouldn't have dedicated any time towards it. It would just be all. It would be all real estate. I would be on here. I'd be sitting here saying like, listen, Greenville's hot right now. All right, Greenville's hot. If you're moving from California, moving from Ohio, Florida, coming from New York, I'm your guy. Listen, I moved from New York a couple of years ago. I know the ropes. I'll help you deal with the Southerners. And that would be my pitch. And then I would just be constantly out and about, be like, okay, we're at this street here. Here's an open house. Here's a house that I'm listing. I'd be constantly advertising it. I couldn't do that here because it just wouldn't make sense. Just be like, all right. So the Amex Platinum card. Well, actually, on that note, this video is sponsored by me. Right down the road, there's a house for sale. I'm listing it. So I know you guys, I don't know where you are. Maybe you're in Alaska, but I'm selling a house down the road, because you guys are everywhere, right? You guys could be in Japan right now. So I just think, but it's true. No, it's good. That's what I would be doing if I was anybody else in the real estate game. Finn says, if you're paying property taxes, then credit card processing fees can easily approach 3%. Oh yeah. Definitely. Easily. So it's like, I guess, yeah, if you have a US Smartly at 4%, yeah, technically you can profit, but just get the welcome offers. Um, excuse me. At this moment, unfortunately, all my property taxes and stuff like that, oh my God, is all in escrow. Meaning I pay it out in the monthly mortgage, and at the end of the year, the bank pays it on my behalf, which sucks. Sorry, I didn't mean to scream in the mic, but it sucks. I asked my lender. I was like, "Look, listen, can I just like pay with a credit card?" And you're like, "Listen, you could do it after a year or something like that. And after a couple of years, then you can come out of escrow." But I guess in the way we did the loan, I'm not able to. I'm not fully sure why, but maybe I should ask him again. I think it's the way we did the loan though. There's sub two. I say okay. Buck says, okay, so my chase situation, I was denied instantly now. Okay, so chase situation with the Recon. Okay, so my chase situation, I was denied instantly. Now I did run through a rough patch a few years back, but all has changed. Anyway, they denied me right away for the chasing unlimited. Call Recon, and they said I was denied because of my industry type. Ah, finally. Finally. Okay, Boxer, tell me. What was the industry type? Maybe you mentioned it, maybe because I've said it on videos. I was like, I know there's some industries that get auto denied, but I don't know what they are yet. I just know that's a thing just from reading a million different things, but I never heard what they were. So let me know that. I would love to know. But that sucks. They said through the industry type. So maybe just apply again with a different industry. Honestly, do the one I do. Literally, I'm sorry to say, I hate if Chase is watching this, but like it doesn't matter. Like the industry that you put in there does not matter. I mean, like the best one I put is information. They have not questioned the information industry type. I don't even know what it means. Something to do with social media, and that just happens to cover our three businesses in a way. Between my wife and I. I mean, if it's anything somewhat that you can somehow say, it's, I mean, in case through Recon, whatever, but, I never had an issue with information as the industry type. And it seems to be the most broad, and obviously it works. But I know there's some industries that don't. I would love to hear which ones are. King Santa's got to be company channel, so it has to exist. Yeah, for sure. Box says, was denied because of my, oh, yeah, so you said it again. Past history. It was my primary business bank for the past 12 years. Yeah. That's what happens. That's what happens. DL says, "What is the tax rate on YouTube income? Is it higher or lower than W-2? What's the percentage?" I mean, regardless, like, because there's one thing that you're paying royalties. Okay, cool, but no matter what, it's still not. It's still all on a 1099. For a lot of it. So that's another. So essentially, it's a Schedule C, meaning it's another form that your tax guy, your accountant needs to account for, so to speak. So this way, basically, what a lot of these big firms will do, like H&R Block, is they'll charge you by the amount of Schedule Cs you have. So like the overarching one is YouTube. So that's one Schedule C for that specific business. And then I also had the real estate business. So another Schedule C. So not only did I have to pay $200 for the one, which is typically what most people are paying for, is that like W-2s or one Schedule C is $200. I had to pay one for the YouTube and one for that. So it's like, ended up being like $500 to pay my taxes last year on top of what I owed, which freaking sucks. So that's one thing to know is like, no matter what, it's still going to be considered self-employed income via 1099 on a Schedule C. So either way, you're paying, your around 30% taxes. You have your self-employment taxes and a few other different things that added up to around 30% before factoring in write-offs. And that's where people get funny with things is write-offs, which, I'll actually mention it. I'll mention it. I can't show it on the screen because it would show everything. But I actually recently got on with a company. It's very new. It was a guy I actually met recent it was the guy who was a co-founder of Teachable. I was actually introduced to them by Sebi and Mandy, and it's a company called Kick.co, and they do AI bookkeeping. I never really did great bookkeeping, but they essentially do AI bookkeeping where you load all of your credit card. I want to do a video on it because it's actually been like very helpful this year. I've only used it the last few months, but you basically can you connect all of your bank accounts, so like Chase, Amex, stuff like that, and it'll literally for the last 2 years. Well, if you have it for 5 years, it'll have it for 5 years, but they just started. But the last 2 years of transactions, put it all on there, and you go through each transaction like, okay, this is advertising spend, This is whatever, I don't know, paying for office supplies. And you can change what they're considered in the AI. So like this one is this just general personal spend? Okay, we can't write that off. Or do you want to change it to anytime this transaction comes up, it is considered, it's considered a write-off. So like business and supplies and stuff like that. And then it'll show you on the right-hand side, like, oh, it was $100 you spent at Home Depot for business, supplies. That's a, how much is that saving you in taxes? Like 20% or something like that. So you just save $20 in taxes by reporting that. And I actually really love it. I mentioned that also because I like it. But then on top of that, if you guys are interested in it, I have a link in the description. I never talked about it. I just put it down there. If you want to try it out. I don't know. Personally, I never did bookkeeping. This is the first time I've done it. So there might be better things out there, but I thought it was pretty interesting. Because now all of my transactions are categorized. It auto will, every time I make a transaction on any of my credit cards, that's the write-off. That's personal. Like Publix is personal. These things like StreamYard, like I'm streaming here, that's business expense. And then it'll auto give you a profit and loss sheet daily. Like it updates daily. And then at the end of the year, you give that to your accountant, and they're like, they love that because like, oh, everything's already done. Cool. And then they just do your taxes. So it's a way to keep everything kind of, because in the past, all I did was put it in a note. I was like, oh, I spent money here, business expense, I went out to dinner with Calby. That's a write-off, right? 50% write-off there with the business expense. So it does it all for you. And you know what I really like? I like that what I've been doing is when I do have a business meal, like, go and do some YouTube talk, you take a picture of it and you text the number, and it auto adds the photo to the business meal, like the receipt, like basically a receipt of the thing. So I really like that. So, so I guess so that's my accounting software. Yeah, I think. But as far as it higher or lower, definitely higher. Yeah, it's 100% higher. It's yeah, 30% on self-employment tax, man. It's a lot. It's a lot. Boxer and oh yeah, right. Thank you again, Mike Newland, for super chat. That means a lot. Appreciate that. Hey, double animal fries. What's popping? Let's see. What time is it now? It's 7:30 and I'm at 7:08. Oh God, I'm so behind. I hope you guys are enjoying. So double line, right? What's going on? Cat over Calby, for real. Fun fact, that cat, Ramona, looks like that was Calby's old, that was his old mascot. That was him. He was that American, standard issue. That's what they call those cats, short hair. Venture cat. So it's partly why we took it in, because I was like, it's like Calby. I feel bad for him. The boss. People call me crazy. The Amex Blue Business Cash is way underrated. You think so? Well, I would love to hear why. I guess other than like the 2% back or something. Deal says, if you were a business owner, why would you want to give your employees a platinum card to spend company money with? Who would you trust with that other than yourself? I mean, it's a good point. It's a good point. A lot, honestly, I think a lot of it is status too. I think a lot of it is status, like just to have these employee cards, and your employees are spending on the Amex. Maybe they really enjoy the points. Whoever's issuing, the business owner, can use those points for something. I remember talking to Lalit. He has a YouTube channel, Lalit Devraj. I was talking to him, and he was like, one of the main things he learned by he's professional beatboxer, and he traveled the world. He was scheduling a lot of these events, but he realized that a lot of these events didn't take you seriously. Obviously, if you had like cash or a debit card, he said, but for some reason, when he had the American Express cards, and he actually got like business card, I don't think he got corporate cards, but actually, did he get corporate? I don't remember. No, I don't think he did. No, but I think he just got business cards, and then got all of the people that he was managing who could not get credit cards, maybe they weren't in the United States, their own authorized user cards with their name on it. And then like apparently venues took him seriously. So there is a bit of vanity to it. There's a little bit of status to it, I think. Otherwise, I'm not necessarily sure, other than just the owner loves the points, King Sam, what's going on? Deal, because they have real budgets and employees aren't children. These are corporations. I mean, it's true. Yeah, I mean, you can trust some of your employees. Some of them. I mean, I hear some stories of people really spending on the corporate cards. So I understand. But That's funny. What was it? Self IRS was 1.82, so a little bit higher than the 1.75. Um, Dale says I see way too much fraud and theft online. Maybe I'm paranoid. I don't know if I would give cards unless I'm with, yeah, honestly, I'm kind of with you there. Boxer says I am in the trucking industry. They told me it's super high risk. How is trucking high risk? Is it really? Is it really? I'm trying to think. Like, I only think I'm thinking of a risk is like, I saw Tesla was working, they're working on their Tesla Semi, and they can have these convoys on autopilot. So like I was like, all right, that might be something. Some other companies working on some AI stuff like that. I know Uber's getting into the trucking and freight industry, I think. Um, or at least they were years ago, but probably not anymore. So that's wondering. That's interesting. I don't know. I think if you really don't care at all, I think it'd be worth trying like information or trying something and just like doing it. If because the other one's not high risk, so I don't know. Try it. I just got the ink preferred. Unfortunately, I only got 90K. I tried to escalate with Chase to get the 120K because I have many cards, but they wouldn't do it. Yeah, typically they'll match an offer or bump up the offer if the offer that was higher happened. Would just happen within 30 days. Like 30 days of the offer. So yeah. Usually within 30 days, you can match that offer. Super sale. Why doesn't any credit card content creator talk about the other benefits, Chase, Amex, Capital One experiences such as concerts, sports? Yeah, I mean, I think it's because, well, one, I think generally it's not as known, and I think a lot of people they don't consider it. I think they just don't consider it. I've spoken to Key on some live streams and some videos talking about Capital One experiences, using her miles to book like baseball games. Yeah, Vincent Pascal says Joe Barreto talked about as well as Fargo Autograph and how he got some experience with that. I like to mention like some of the experiences through the concierge services through like MasterCard. But I think like also like Amex, like Capital One's cool. Like I did a whole video on how to get how to get Taylor Swift tickets when that was all happening with Capital One cards, and that was fun. But generally Capital One and Chase, they're a little bit more lower end. You can actually pay for those things. Amex, Amex is like, oh, do you want to go get pied in the face by Steve Aoki in Ibiza? It's like, here, $17,000, charge it right to your Amex card. I think it's like, I think a lot of people in the credit card game are kind of, we're kind of cheap in a way. We don't want to spend all that money on crazy experiences. Like, I think that's like for big ballers, I could see a lot of the time. And also like Amex didn't really help me out. Like I was trying to get Ed Sheeran tickets once. And I called the platinum card, and they were like, "Oh, we can't get the tickets because the tickets aren't online until it was because the tickets were in Nashville. I was trying to book the Nissan Stadium there, and it was like since they're Central Standard Time in Nashville, an hour behind me, they couldn't book it because I'm on Eastern Standard Time. So it was like an hour more to be open to the public. I was like, oh, so you're just waiting for it to be open to the public, and then you can get the tickets? He was like, yeah. I was like, so I could just do it myself? They said, yeah. So I was like, okay. Who cares? It was through their portals. What the hell? It was on their thing. I was like, okay, all right, whatever. But I do know they can get some things earlier before they have general access. So yeah, I mean, it's true. I just think not a lot of people talk about it because some of them are out of reach and sometimes they're not that great. I don't know. Um, but I think Capital One has some of the best ones though that I've seen on that end. So that's interesting. I use my in cash to buy Visa gift cards at Staples. I get 5% at Staples, and the activation fee is waived because I have Staple Rewards. Oh, I use the cards for groceries and other purchases. That's pretty interesting. I didn't know that. Huh. Is there any caveat to that? Like, can you just sign up for a Staple Rewards? Like, is that like a credit card, or is that just the membership? Like, like a rewards card for like a grocery store or something? Because if it's free, I mean, what the hell? Just go to Staples and get some Visa gift cards. You don't have to pay that $7 activation fee. Use it for groceries. I mean, that's a good idea. That's a very good idea. I need not say more. I need not say more. Boxer said, all right. Boxer said, just last month, my one employee on the BBC, got $87 back. Not much, but it's definitely something. Yeah, that's actually fairly interesting. Well, I guess that doesn't, I don't know, would that matter? Like, I wonder if you have, like, if you activate every single offer through some of these, these cards. I mean, I guess the employees aren't buying things outside of the like outside of your business, right? I was just thinking like, oh, maybe they could hit Amex offers every now and again. You never know. Um, I thought that would be interesting, but no, that doesn't really work. Yeah. Box says, I mean, yes, hello. When your fuel bill is for 2 trucks is on the low side, 3,500 a week, and F Uber freight. Yeah. I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, yeah, that's freaking expensive. And from what I've seen in the trucking industry, the Tesla semis, well, I think there's a bit of correct me if I'm wrong, Box, because you actually do this, but I remember hearing that in the trucking industry, you only have to mandatory by law. I'm guessing in this industry, a lot of people break the rules, but I'd imagine I think some of the regulations is like mandatory semi truck drivers have to drive for 4 hours and they have to stop. Like they cannot go longer than 4 hours in one stint. I think it's like a half-hour stop or an hour stop, and then you go for another 4 hours, something like that. I'm sure you guys aren't doing that, but that was one of the reasons why they said like, "Oh, the battery on the Tesla is going to go out," and it's just like they have enough range to go for 4 hours, those semis, fairly easily. And if you have a half hour to charge, I mean, that can get your battery up to like 80% at that time with those higher kilowatt hour chargers. And so through that, you're not paying 3,500 a week for that. I'd imagine it'd be, I mean, superchargers are pretty expensive, but I still feel like they're at least everyone I've seen when I'm using them, at least like, I don't know, I think you at least save 20-30% on the superchargers for the trucking industry. So that's like huge savings. But the truck's kind of expensive though. I think it's like 180,000. The Great Bernard. I spoke with Chase Business Relationship Manager. She says that applying for Inc. business cards through DocuSign with Manager doesn't improve chances and in fact is more strenuous with underwriting. Huh. That's good to know. That's good to know. Really? So applying through DocuSign with the manager, I guess because when you have the manager, it's not on them to approve you, it's on the underwriter, which is typically like, an online system. Hmm. I mean, I could see that if that's true, that that's how I can justify that understanding. That's interesting. Hmm. Yeah, that's good to know. That's good to know. Is this true for others? I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I haven't really heard that before, so that's good to know. See, always adding something. This game has like the most amount of data points and different things. It's like insane. It's insane how many different things there are. It's actually crazy. Wow, I'm catching up. Look at this. Trucking is very high risk. And it says MX Business Gold earns 4x on gas. If it's one of your top 2 earning categories, as a trucker, gas will likely be one of your top expenses. And I just want to, yeah, true. I mean, yeah, it's a good point. You can earn a lot of. See, like I see that would be great. See, like when I was, I might have said it too many times, but when I was a driving teacher in New York, I was able to. Oh God, why am I yawning so much? I was able to use any credit card I wanted for the gas bill, and we were. What was I spending? Like 500 a week? Might have been $500 a week, and I was driving 10, 12 hours a day. I drove like a good few 100,000 miles in a couple of years. There's a lot, but that's a lot of gas spend. So like, yeah, if you have a card like earning 4x, all of that was gas. It's, I mean, at least for me, that was what 500 a week probably. So like, yeah, 2,000, so like 8,000 points a month, and it all got reimbursed to me at the end of the month or the end of the week, I think, or yeah, end of the week. You give the receipt in, you get reimbursed. So like, I don't know how you trucking guys do it. I think I could be wrong, but I thought you guys buy your trucks and you can own your own routes, and then you can. But I think you can be employed, and then they'll reimburse. I think there's other ways to do it. Have your own businesses or work for somebody else and have things reimbursed. But yeah, I mean, if you're getting reimbursed 4x on everything, man, that's 3,500 a week. I mean, come on. I mean, you'll have more points than anybody, than anybody on earth. I mean, that's crazy. Rodrigo says, "What cards are you anticipating adding to your wallet in 2025?" So I actually filmed it and edited it. I'm gonna try to upload it next week, though, or maybe soon. I don't know. But yeah, like I think I mentioned I might try for another ink card. I might try for the business gold if 15K becomes more feasible, or um yeah, if 15K can be more feasible, or if the 10K offer comes around the business gold, I would do that. Foot the annual fee, cancel it the next year. Um, you know, most likely. Definitely gonna downgrade the Amex Gold, and I'm gonna try to get my traditional green card back, my $50 traditional green, next month, and then probably re-upgrade back to the platinum when it comes time to travel. Hopefully on some upgrade offers. I might get my own Amazon Prime Visa because that was like a really easy way that my wife got to earn a lot of cash for Amazon and just like buy a lot of gifts for Christmas. Like that's like I might do that as well. Outside of that, I think I think maybe the AA card, the Barclays aviator card, spend one per, just do one purchase, get 60,000 American airline miles before they inevitably kind of merge over with city cards. So that, that might be something, so otherwise I don't know. I think it could be a very plentiful year, but maybe less cards, but we'll have to see. I'm not too sure at the moment. Those for sure though I'm looking at. Boxer says, I was talking to the fuel rep on Friday. Asked them again, but being there at the bank, they will not take the risk of taking credit card payments. Easily could max gold card. Oh, yeah. That sucks. Huh. Like, so I'm guessing they give you a corporate card, right? Yeah, I'm guessing they give you a company card and you use that and you swipe it and you never really see the gas bill. It's too bad. If the bit here's an interesting play. Here's an interesting play. If there were a time where the curve card came back, and for those of you who weren't around during the curve card escapades, basically it's a card that it's almost like a mobile wallet where you can preload like a million different credit cards from MasterCard. Like basically MasterCards can go on there. I think Discover as well, but I think MasterCards can go on the curve card. So if you have like Freedom Flex and maybe the Saver, MasterCards, you could theoretically pay with your curve card. It will charge it charges the Saver card. And you're like, oh, you know what? There's a better 5% rotating category in the Flex right now. You can just transfer that over. You can transfer that over to the the Freedom Flex. So I think there could be a way, theoretically, if your corporate business card is a MasterCard, like I forgot the caveat of the curve card is done. It's not actually in existence right now, only in Europe, but we're hoping it comes back to the States. But I was like, that would be an interesting play if you have a MasterCard company card to where you could technically like charge it to their corporate card and then switch it over to yours to get the points, but then you'd still have to get reimbursed reimbursed from your company in a way. But I think I don't know, there might be a way to game it, and I'm just saying, if that ever came out again, who knows, that'll ever come out, but that's that's just how I think, though. I just try to think like, is there some sort of way, isn't cash for Physics card staples 5% make away purchases. That's why I'm yawning, because I'm just like talking so much. Did I miss something here? Oh, great. Oh, yeah. It's just a membership. Wait, what? Did I miss something, Great Bernard? Oh, I'm not sure. Huh. I think I did go through the business relationship. Oh, I'm not sure. Skipped, but I'm not sure what I missed. Deal says, fuel bills, cost of repairs on the truck when they break down, amount of missed revenue when you wait for your truck to get repaired. Oh, yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, that's insane. Oh, it's just a membership. Oh, it's just a membership for the. Oh, right. I was mixing it up. So for Staples, so it's just a membership. It's free. Something thinking about, man. Something to think about. That's interesting. I'm gonna have to look at it. Okay, so you can drive 11 hours, 30-minute break in between. Can you drive 11 hours? That's crazy. See, it's so crazy because on Twitter, on X. You get sometimes some people put some stuff out there. I read the replies, and and or I don't even know if that was from there, but I remember reading somewhere. I have a feeling it was from there, but I have a feeling I read like, no, they have mandatory like 4 hours on, 30-minute break, so you can drive 11 hours trucking. Where's our residential trucker, Mister the Eye? Is he in here? I mean, come on, Brian. The Eye is also a trucker, but that's pretty crazy. And work 14-hour clock, and we do that? No, never. Honest, free logs anyway. Yeah, I mean, sure. Like, why just get it done? Stop for the night. Go to sleep. On Newland, I use City Custom Cash. I average 140 a week in gas for my car for work that I do. Yeah, cool. 5% on all that. Powerful. Absolutely. Super Sal, do you have the build card? Yes. If so, do you think it's been going downhill / uphill? There hasn't been any great transfer bonus in the card for a while. Yeah, I mean, I think it's one of those things where, I think it's one of those things where I hate to say that, like, I won't say it's a bait and switch, but I think some people feel that way. I think some people feel like, oh, these record high bonuses, record high transfers. Um, all these different things, only to find out that, maybe some of those things ended, and some of these things have been nerfed. Like, you know, on Built Rente, limiting the amount of points you can earn from 10,000 to 1,000 hurts a lot. I mean, that hurts a lot. I mean, I've checked out on the first before of hotels that were $300 a night. At the Built Day multiplier 4x on travel. I'm limited there. I can only get 1,000. That would normally be 1,200. So like the 10,000 sucks. How many people are going to be able to spend to get 1,000? Like if it's the dining category at 6x, I get it. $150 dining out, like that's one average meal for like like a few people, something like that, family. If you're eating out. So while all these things are tough, like it's like there are a lot of devaluations, a lot of nerfs, but I also foresee a lot of good things in the future as well. Like they still are one of the most valuable like currencies to earn, um, and they do let you do a lot of interesting things with their points. Like I was looking at Disney tickets the other day because Lonnie called me. Lonnie told me you could do that, so I was looking into it. I was like, how much are Disney tickets? And I found out like basically park hopper 1-day tickets per person is like uh 18,000 build points. So it'd be like, or 15,000. So it's like 30,000 points for two people for park hopper tickets. So it's interesting. It's interesting. You can technically buy 2 tickets, with your, if you're paying rent with it, whatever, or anything else, you can build it up. So, and also with the fact of mortgages, like, I mean, once they finally announce mortgages where it's like a direct option, it could be any lender. It doesn't have to be Wells Fargo, something like that. Like if they don't, like if they come out the gate and be like, it's only like these lenders, that would kind of suck. It's like, but it depends on who your lender is for your mortgage. If they have a direct way, the card blows up. Like everybody who has a mortgage in this community is gonna, go get the card. They're gonna earn their points through it. I think another thing that's interesting is, being able to, which they should allow, much like they do with rent, paying your mortgage with, and I think some people forget this fact. Like, yes, you can pay with your Built card and it waives the transaction fee, right? 3%. Yeah, that's cool, but it's not all the value you can earn. It's actually quite small in comparison to what you could possibly do in that case for mortgages. Much like I did last year with rent, I ate the 3% fee every single month from that $1,500 rent payment on my apartment, and I put it all towards Ink Unlimiteds because with the Built rent pay, you can use any card you want, an Amex card, a Chase card. So that's the idea. It's like if you have welcome offer cards, throw your mortgage on it. Take the 3% fee and get really sick welcome offers. I mean, you can earn a lot of points doing that. And I think that's the most powerful part of it all, even though, 3% sucks. If you don't want the 3%, pay with your Built card, 0%. Earn your Built points. That's powerful too. And, I think part of it, because like, if you really look into it, and I actually wanted to do a whole stream on this at some point, but if you really look into it, like all of these, so what I think is happening on the back end with Built, it's an interesting conversation. And I've talked to Kelly about this, who theorizes this well. If you look into some of the financial statements or the earnings calls from companies like Hilton and Amex, Delta, you'll hear some things on the bottom line, like how much these companies are paying for the points or the right to earn points in their program, or to have these co-branded credit cards and stuff like that. So in one way, like Hilton and Amex have this partnership, to where they can, have the co-branded cards. Hilton will, buy a certain amount of points, or Amex will buy some points in reserves. So this way they can issue out Hilton points to people via transfers, and their cards. And so it's a whole business, the buying and selling of points on the back end. But when you have companies with partnerships, like maybe, I don't know if it actually is a direct, I'm assuming it is, but like a Hilton and a Delta with Amex, like a direct partnership, you can get better deals, you're better clients. These points aren't going to be as expensive to you as if you were an outside person. What Calvin and I do think, and after he mentioned, I was like, yeah, that makes sense, is Built is that outsider who maybe doesn't have any partnerships with some of these bigger people, like a Hilton, or like a Hyatt and stuff like this, or any of these transfer bonuses that we meant that have like 100%, 150% bonuses we've seen. So it's quite possible they don't actually have any partnerships at all, and they're just buying all of these ecosystems essentially at face value, albeit probably higher than market value, just to be able to have a points currency like Built Points to transfer to all these different issuers. Thus, to the consumer, us, we don't care how you got it. Just let us do it, right? Let us transfer to Alaska. Let us transfer to AA. Let us transfer to Hyatt. I think that's very valuable to us as consumers, and they know that. But when in one of those articles that came out, we don't know if it's true, but they were saying like, oh, they burning 10 million a quarter or something like that. It quite possibly could have been true, and they could have just been footing the bill of all these crazy transfer bonuses to have more YouTubers talk about them, to build up more of their market share, to get to the point to where now they have a good TAM, a good total addressable market of consumers who are going to be using, or who are using them on rent and going to be using them on mortgages, to where they don't have to pay exorbitant amounts for these points anymore, and they can just kind of limit the transfers, right, and save themselves on the bottom line a little bit more, actually start maybe profiting a little bit. So that's just my 2 cents on it. That's what I think has probably happened, is they just paid a lot for these points, got the acquisition. They essentially just said, I won't even pay for marketing. Because remember, Built didn't really market that much, right? If you really think about it, they didn't really market much. It was all through like hearsay and word of mouth and YouTubers, and stuff like that, and having these crazy transfer bonuses. Okay, everybody rush to get the card. Okay, now they're starting. You see on YouTube, if you're ever watching YouTube, you guys know you're seeing Built ads now. And it's like you got like the golden chain around the Built, like, oh, name number one from NerdWallet or something, number one travel card. So I think maybe that now they're like, okay, so now all of that advertising spend that would have been acquisition costs to getting all of us who are getting their cards, instead of using that money for the transfer bonuses, now they're using it towards marketing and YouTube ads and all these different ads, and now we have less transfer bonuses. It doesn't mean it won't come back in the future, but like, if I'm trying to rationalize it, that makes sense to me. Like, that makes sense to me, just knowing how these businesses operate, listening to some of these earnings calls. Which let me know if you guys are interested, if you guys are listening to this rant. I had a thought. I thought it would be interesting if like every quarter we can jump on a live like this, and we can listen to the earnings calls of like Amex, Chase, Citi, whatever's public, any public company, Delta, Hilton. I think it would be really interesting to hear the insights. And of course, they're going to have like normal operations, but then in there, they always mention like, that's how people found out about the 40 changes of the Amex cards. I just thought it'd be really interesting to go through the earnings call, listen to them, look at the balance sheet, see where cards line up, see where they're spending their money, and we can kind of like foresee where it's going. Which I have done already, but I just never did it live. I just thought that would be really fun to do. So let me know if you guys if that seems interesting to you guys, and I might set that up for like every quarter. Let's do the Amex earnings call, baby. I just thought that'd be funny. Deal is okay. All right, Supercell. Also, does City have experiences, sports concerts? I think they do. Yeah, I think they do have. I feel like they do. I feel like almost all of them do. I could be wrong though. Rupert Pond. I like the name, Rupert Pond. VentureX Biz. Oh wait, sorry, I missed somebody earlier. George Morales. Thank you for what you do. Wow, appreciate it, George. That means a lot. Thank you, sir. I hope anything that I do here is like valuable in any sort of way with some of my rants. So thank you for that, George. I appreciate you highly, sir. And Mike and Tariq for those today. That means a lot. So let me see here. Where was I? So we're upon Ventrex business 150K sub for 30K spend, or in card for 75K sub for 60K. I have a less spend coming up. It's one of those situations again. I'm like 150K Capital One miles. Yeah, you can get some good flights with that. But I just don't think it compares to the amount of, like, say you were able to get somehow between you and whoever else 5 ink cards, right? Because 6,000 spend times 5, 30K spend, the same amount of spend. 75 times 5, a cool 450, right? Or no, I mean 375, cool 375,000 points. I mean, I think that can get you literally 3 times as far with all those welcome offers, and not even factoring in if you're doing this with somebody else and you can get referral bonuses from each one of those cards, 20K here and there. Yeah, I mean, for 30K spend, just do the, I mean, I guess if you love your Capital One miles, I get it. But why not just spend 15K or 30K and get 2 business golds and get 400,000 MR? That might be worth it. Just something to consider, for sure. But that's just my personal. I just feel like for the same spend, unless you know you're going to be using your venture capital or venture miles, you know, if you know where you can use it somewhere outsized return, and the other ones you can't, then sure. But I don't know. I think you'll go further with the other ones. Don't get rip curve plus build comma. I know, it's sad, right? It's so sad. We gotta pour one out for our people. Let's go, baby. Got 2 hours. We're going on 2 hours. Definitely let me know what you guys are thinking. So let's see here. City definitely has more merchant rewards for cashback in the app. Don't have Amex, so I don't know about them. But City and US Bank have more merchant offers than Wells Fargo. Good to know. Good to know. Boxer says, this might be a silly question. Can you use a gift card outside the US with no foreign transaction fee? I mean, if you just have a gift card and like the terms on the gift card say, like, as long as they don't say only in US only, with no foreign transaction. I mean, do gift cards have foreign transaction fees? Is that a thing? I mean, I feel like maybe I could. I mean, that's something I could type in. I couldn't imagine they do. It wouldn't really make sense to me, but I mean, I'm always open to being like astonished by something. Do you have foreign transaction fees? Let's see what AI says. Yes, some gift. Oh God, come on. Is that true? Is AI correct here? Not only would be wait, what is it? All right, let me see. Bank rate always has the up and up. Using your gift cards while traveling abroad. See, I love this because there's always like questions, things I don't think of, and it's good to just know. It's good to learn. So we learn together. So let's see the international reach of some gift cards. Your level of success using gift cards abroad will depend on the card. Unlike credit cards, gift cards are usually issued by retailer bank. For this reason, most branded gift cards are U.S. bound. Yeah, see that was my main thing. It's like, as long as it's not U.S. bound. But however, some can be used. So like, I guess if you have to go to Gap in China or Brazil, go to Gap. Home Depot, Canada, Mexico, Subway in Canada. Wow, or Hyatt. Oh, I didn't know Hyatt had gift cards, to be honest. Huh. It's a good gift. And because of a little more freedom, Visa and MasterCards, most Visa MasterCards that you purchase are US bound. However, Visa does offer some gift cards that could be abroad. They do have a foreign transaction fee, like some of these cards. Account Now, Cash Pass, $3. That's ridiculous. That's honestly ridiculous. Doesn't seem like there's a lot though, so you might be fine as long as you don't have these, or you can probably look it up if one specifically doesn't. Look at that's so funny. Why would they? That's one of the best rewards cards for travelers. Is the Capital Venture rewards card. Not only will be free of foreign tax, you learn 1 point. Like, why would you do the Venture One and not the like Venture X? I mean, I guess people using gift cards, are they assuming they think they want to know if I don't know. It's interesting. The upsell at the end. So I don't think it's silly. I agree. That's interesting. Jordan says, make or break this year for Built. I'm optimistic. Yeah, same. Yeah, same. I really do think. Oh, yeah, thank you for the super chat, Jordan. I appreciate you, man. And your channel. Keep growing that channel, man. You're killing it. Love it. If you guys aren't subscribed, go subscribe to Jordan Rules for Credit. But he said, super chat, appreciate it. Make or break this year for Built. Yeah, I'm optimistic. Yeah, same. I really do think once they roll out mortgages, everybody on YouTube is gonna go crazy. I'm definitely gonna report on it. Got to make that money, right? Got to make the video. Definitely got to report on it. I think it's gonna blow up. Because I think on average, I could be wrong. I really should do a poll because I think I'm right. I think for the people who are in this niche, the credit card niche, I think on average, typically are a little bit wealthier. And the reason I say that is because it's like seems to be a clear split. Like I noticed there's a side of YouTube that talks about like raising your credit limits, raising your credit score, and then there's like the points maximizers. And I feel like the points maximizers kind of have everything else in play, but they just want to maximize what they're already spending. Obviously, not everybody, but I'm just saying on average. So I'm like, if that's the case, probably there's more people like if they found like I don't know with build cards if they're all coming from the credit card community, maybe there's like some sort of element to like, oh, there's like 60% mortgage and 40% people are renting or something. Like I don't know. I just think it would be interesting to see the demographic and where they can kind of see that the mortgage is going forward from there. But I think as soon as that announces, everybody's going to jump on it. Absolutely, everybody's going to jump on the on the mortgages for sure. um yeah yeah Plus everything else, like that's why like I really I want like I would be I don't know, I would really jump on it if I really knew. I mean, I'm already on Bill's. Like I love Bill. Bill's fine. Like I like it. I have the card. But if I can see if they went public as a company, which I don't know if they will. I think they will though. I think they will go public one day, on the stock market. And then when you have public, you have some more public scrutiny. And now we have to start seeing profit and losses and balance sheets and where you're making your money from. How much of a burden are you to Wells Fargo? All these different things. I would love to look through and be like, okay, what's their operating like? Are they like 10%? Like are they plus positive 10% on operating margins? Like that would be cool. Like if I saw that, I'm like, destroy the world. They're gonna destroy the world with margins like that already. What they're doing, and then if like they're highly profitable, that these transfer bonuses are likely to occur in the future. I believe even Richard Kerr, vice president of travel that Call Milani interviewed like a few months ago. I think he even mentioned like, yeah, they're like becoming more travel, more everything. So I think we can see that for sure in the future. I just want to. I love the details though. I love to see the nitty gritty details of the stock, the balance sheet and everything like that. So I think that'd be fun to see if they ever did. For now, it's just in the dark, But if you saw like they're losing $1 million a quarter, or like 10 million a quarter, like they said, then probably not going to see some transfer bonuses for a while. It's no money in that at the moment, So thank you for that, Jordan, the super chat, man. I appreciate it. Interesting, for sure. And thanks again, George, for the nice words. That means a lot. As I'm losing my voice over here, unbelievable. Did I? Yeah, I didn't do that. All right. Chet says you need to instant message me about Disney tickets when you're ready. I could smoke Bill. That's right. I probably should. If I do plan to go there, I will hit you up for sure because I know you have some tricks. If you guys don't know, Chad Pennycuff, he has his own channel, My DVC Points. Basically, it's Disney timeshares, but he has ways to be able to like really game the whole Disney game. So if you're trying to figure out how to get those tickets for cheaper or timeshares, he's the go-to on that for sure. So I appreciate you, man. Manuel says, has anyone added or tried adding their Hilton gift card to Apple Pay to pay your room? Oh, good to know. I would like to hear that too. Life on Earth. Main thing about Built is higher transfer bonus. I feel like because many people in the credit card game are not using Built card to pay rent. It's tough to say. I don't know. That's why I would love to know the demographic. I would love to know. Like I had rent the entire year last year. Now I don't. So I'm not sure. Jordan says we're doing the same with rent, but long term, once I settle down, rent will go on Built exclusively, for sure. Shout out to Call Me Line for Disney trip. Yeah, I believe Built removed the Disney. No, they didn't because I just checked. 3 days ago. Like 3 days ago, it was on there. Disneyland in California, right? I was checking in Orlando. So Orlando still has it for Disney tickets for Walt Disney World. So something to know for sure. Built is a Ponzi scheme. Built is a Ponzi scheme. I love it. I love it. Is it a Ponzi scheme? I don't think so. I don't know. I'd have to think about it. I don't think so. That's funny. Interested in the earnings call. Okay, cool. We got somebody who's interested in doing like the earnings calls of like Amex and all those different things. Hear what they got to say. See where things are going to change. I just think it would be interesting. I don't know. So thank you, Sean, for mentioning that. That's good to know. Got to make the video, Jordan says. And Buck says, I'll be back. Someone did a video if the dinosaurs in Jurassic Park were accurate. You have to leave for that. I mean, that's definitely way more entertaining. You have to go. You actually have to go and see if things are if true. It'd be like, I wish you wrote like someone. I have to listen. I gotta go. Someone just did a video of the dinosaurs in Jurassic Park were real, and like how did they have cameras? You know, in the Jurassic era. It's funny. Sebastian says I like Wingstop. That's good to know. Appreciate it. I've never been there. I did have a driving. No, never mind. I had a student in driving who worked at Planet Wings, and I walked back there for a second. He's a cool guy. He used to do some art. DL says city custom catch 5%. I bet. And oh, that reminds me. Oh, Philma, just in case Clausen is here. Correct. Yeah. Built a Ponzi. I will be remiss. We'll probably go soon. Wow. Friggin' speak of speak of the devil. Not that you're a devil, but Mike Newland. He says maybe you and Rich with points on. Maybe you can get Rich with points on here in the future. Yeah, I mean, I never talked to him before. I don't even know if I've checked out his channel yet, to be honest. I know the name and I know he has like a cool website and stuff. People talking about in the Discord, but I don't know if I've watched yet. I gotta hit him up. Yeah, I'd love to have him on a podcast. He seems, from what I've heard of people, he seems interesting. So I'd love to. But speaking of the devil, Mike, you were earlier in the chat. Before I go, and obviously if you guys have questions, throw it on me, or else I'll leave once we're finished with this. But Mike Newland, I would be remiss. He mentioned earlier a question. He said, "Hey, what are your thoughts on Discover's quarterly cashback bonus? They're going to have restaurants, home improvement stores, and select streaming services, and that he's not necessarily into cashback, so he's really hoping to get in a category that one of my other cards didn't cover." I forgot to bring it up until now. Whoops. Wait, you guys are seeing yourself. Sorry. Where is it? Wait, hold on. You can look at me for a second. There it is. Okay. Yeah. There we go. Bam. So yeah, Discover right now. So I was looking. So I guess that the 5% categories right now, January to March 2025, is 5% back on up to $1,500 in purchases. So I guess you get a few months for $1,500. 5% back on restaurants, home improvement stores, and select streaming services. I mean, honestly, to note, I mean, it seems pretty interesting. I know. Let me think. Yeah, let me see. Jeez, let me look at the Chase Freedom Flex category right now. Where is it? I think it's fitness clubs. What else is it? Okay, so right now, right now the Freedom Flex, same thing, 5% back for the next 3 months on select grocery stores, including Instacart. Select grocery store. I thought it was just grocery stores. I'd like to know what that is. Fitness clubs, gym memberships, self-care and spa services, and Norwegian Cruise Line purchases. Interesting. Man, 5% back on that. So fitness clubs, gym memberships are cool. I could take advantage of that. Spa services, no. Select grocery stores. I would like to know what those select grocery stores actually are. Will it say it here? If it involved meal planning, the grocery credit is. Oh, is that why everybody's talking about meal prep services right now? Oh, more, or are they just talking about that? Because some people were talking in the Discord about the Factor meals, factor meals. So, but that's not necessarily gross. No, that's not grocery delivery. I mean, I guess we're talking about Uber Eats and stuff they can deliver. Um, so gross. Oh, okay. All right, all right. Yeah. So home chef meal preppers will rejoice. As noted above, grocery specific delivery services so include this category. However, stores that sell a wide range of products such as wholesale clubs like Costco and big box retailers like Target are not included. I thought it was just a general grocery store. Am I wrong? Like I don't know why they're using this language of like only like deliverable groceries here. Am I wrong? I thought it was just general grocery stores like a Publix, Stop and Shop. These kinds of ones would count. So maybe you guys know different, but oh yeah. So I guess part of that, sorry, was that yeah. I mean technically, I feel like I don't know. So like I can use this. Maybe we can use this depending. For Discover, yeah, restaurants 5% is cool. Home improvement stores right now 5% is cool. Gotta buy some stuff for the house. Select streaming always cool for people. I actually think it might be more powerful with the 5% on Discover right now. But thoughts on it? Yeah, I think it's maybe a little better than Flex. But yeah, if you have these payments, why not? Hit the 1500 and go for it, Mike, for sure. And then Filmo says, I have one subscriber now. Is that enough to apply for an ink card under a new sole prop? Yeah, I would say so. I would say that's enough. That's the only prerequisite. You honestly did too much. If you just start a YouTube channel today, just say, hey, Filmo's World. Not Elmo's World, it's Filmo's World. Elmo's World. Just start it, no subscribers, no videos. Hey, I mean, just say, I think, honestly, a weird like loophole is technically whatever, like Filmo the channel. Like if you were to look into your own channel analytics, yeah, you see one subscriber, but you actually see like a join date, like when you started the channel. Like mine technically on this channel says December 2019, but I've been making videos since 2019. I just had this channel open. So like theoretically the business has been around since 2019 though, right? The channel date is 2019. So like if you just had the Filmo channel for years, 10 years, like hey, that business has been operating for 10 years, didn't make any money. But it's a business, right? No, this is too many loopholes. I'm joking. Jonah says, I'm late, but I'm here, brother. Had a very late Christmas today due to weather last weekend. Damn. Well, I hope you enjoyed it, man. I hope you enjoyed it, John. I was laughing at Filmo. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed it, John. Hope that was good. Appreciate you being here. And the 2 spots, smash the like, subscribe buttons. Appreciate you, sir. That means a lot. I really appreciate you. And then yeah. So thank you, John, for that, sir. And then Filmo says, no videos, just some random weirdo subscriber. I'm almost famous. That's hilarious. So with that, I think we're gonna head off. My wife's been making some oxtail soup. Sorry, we're balling out now. Going to the farmer's market and getting some oxtail, and so she's been making that, and I think I'm gonna go in and get ready for that. So this is fun, cool, a little over 2 hours. Like I said, next Saturday night, I think I'm gonna make a reoccurring thing. Saturday night, I think is fun. So I think it's fun, and so Saturday night, I think I'm gonna talk about Recon. Hopefully, I can get to like 10 Recon calls by then, and then we'll have some more insight maybe. Something like that. The film was Dan Oxtail Soup for sure. Supercell, last month or two, I've been watching all your streams. Wow, appreciate you for that. That's anybody that ever tunes into my nonsense, it means a lot to me. It really does, because like I said, this is all I do pretty much now. I do real estate, but this is pretty much all I do now. It's all this is the thing I care about the most. So you guys make it possible. It's it means a lot to me, the rest of the community, everything. So you guys are very much appreciated. Absolutely. And let's just keep doing it. Let's keep having fun. As long as it's fun for you, it's fun for me. Fox says, always good streams. Wow, thank you for that. Thank you for that. Vincent, thank you. Thank you as well. Special thanks, Tariq, 5 spot, Mike Newland for the 20 spot, George, 2 spot, nice messages, Jordan for the 5, John for the 2. Thank you all for being here. All the way, to here. So take care, everybody. And definitely DL. Yeah, absolutely. I think so. So take care, everybody. Enjoy, be safe, have fun, enjoy your oxtail soup. All right. Take care, everybody. Enjoy. And